Welcome on in, Pokemon Unite trainers, to the Unite Championship Series America Regional League. This is week number 1 and day number 1, and we have 3 wonderful matches to kick us off. With me, as always, throughout our off-stream match coverage, the one, the only Husky. What's going on, Husky?
What is up? I'm here along with Karma. He's been sleeping back there as a little circle. I put that blanket down, like, when I got up, just to put it like out of the way for a second, and he has been sitting there ever since. So I don't get a blanket, but I could never do that to my son. He's perfect.
A worthy sacrifice, I'd say. I mean, you can't move the cat, as everyone knows. That's illegal. You're just not allowed to.
Illegal. I like that sweater.
Thank you.
It's a nice sweater.
I think I got it on Gap. You
know, it would look better with a collared shirt underneath, tucked in with a belt.
Yeah, that would.
That's like the
that
true
would work.
Fit. That's what I wear to work, like, every day.
I'm worried about sweating through that, and so yeah, maybe a different day. But I agree. That would look really good. Let's talk about the games. We have 3 matches. Yeah, I guess that's why we're here. On the main broadcast, you'll find the other regions. I believe right now they are going to be kicking off LATAM, or at least they're probably around there right now. And
right now,
over here we are
finishing up Kadokados versus Engage.
Ooh.
It's 1-1 right now, and in the Ray fight. So I'm watching it.
Okay, excellent.
Let me see. Live, it's 200 to 100. Kadokados is winning. Nobody down from either side. 1:31 on the clock. Couple Unite moves are available. There's a Greninja on Kadokados' side. That's probably the most interesting of the picks. Oh, now like the real fight going. We've got the Oracan coming out from Lucario. 2 members of Kadokados immediately go down. Engage lost 1. They lost their Mew. And Engage has got a rip, but no, they lose. Engage loses. Oh no, Engage gets it. Engage gets... What is it? Engage got... What is it? Groudon on this one? But...
yeah.
But they lost 3 players. I don't know if they're going to be able to score in time.
Okay. Yeah, Lucario looking for a score, I think it looks like, for Engage. Could have like 1 defend. Like they might be able to maybe go for a back cap on the other side.
Lucario has to score 100. Oh my god.
No way.
No, why did he stop? Oh, they get it. It's tied. It's tied, but they would lose. They need to score 1 more time.
Yeah. Oh, Hoopa scored 14. I don't think Mewtwo scored any on the back end. Yeah,
they need
40.
to score 100. No, Kadokados wins. Wow. Wow, Kadokados wins. Okay, sorry. You guys couldn't see any of that, but I was watching it.
Whoa. That's crazy. Okay. Well, Kadokados wins 2-1. So that is EU over on the main channel. So I assume that they are going to be going into LATAM after that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So a little bit about today for us. We have 3 matches for you here in North America before all of the actual, like the main broadcast North America will kick off. First up, T-Gang versus Citadel Gaming. This should be a really good matchup. And these are 2 squads that they did not get invited. These are 2 open qualifier teams. T-Gang, a very prominent team in the main broadcasts last year, consistently making that top 8. So we often saw them on the main broadcast. Citadel Gaming, not a new squad, but a new name. This is basically the reformed Team YT with a couple of changes to their squad, but I think this one is going to be a fantastic matchup between two teams.
Didn't Flareon's get put on Citadel?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I believe
I knew that they added somebody,
subbing. But... Yeah, I think they're subbing. I'm not sure if they're part of the main roster, at least as of now.
I remember seeing, and I thought it was Flareon's that they like signed somebody else, and everyone was like, "Oh, cool." Should be an interesting. T-Gang's always a team that I feel like is underrated. Maybe maybe by me, but like I feel like they're a team that everyone kind of forgets how good they are, and then they show up to games, and you're like, "Oh, yeah, I forgot about them. Like I forgot that they actually are an insanely good team. So Citadel is one, I guess, fan favorite, but you know, they're kind of the team where like if they decide to play the game, then they're really good. But if like one of them's off or something, they just fall apart so fast. So when they show up, like they really show up.
And one thing that we saw a decent amount of with Citadel Gaming in the Open Qualifiers, as well as just some other events, was Decidueye. We saw a lot of Razor Leaf Decidueye with them, especially if they're able to get that Pocket Blissey. So it's kind of something that they've thrown in their back pocket, but I can't imagine at this stage of just being seen through the Open Qualifiers that you probably let them have it, or at least go unprepared to kind of face into that protect the president of So Sad Sam, who really loves playing that Razor Leaf Decidueye. It works really well for them a lot of the time.
Yeah, it's a strategy that not everybody can pull off. That is true. That's for sure. And, you know, a lot of pieces have to fall into place, but there's been so many times where the enemy team just doesn't prepare for it because it's like, oh, it's a Razor Leaf Decidueye, like, whatever, you know? And they kind of let it sneak through into draft, and I've seen teams get absolutely rocked by that composition. Sam is one of those attacker players that's, like, just always been an attacker player, so he has just such a deep pool of Pokemon that he's really good at that they're not necessarily like in the meta, but he pulls them out, like his Gardevoir and the Razor Leaf Decidueye and those kind of things that not a ton of people play, but Sam is good enough at them that, you know, other teams have to watch out for those types of picks.
Not only that, but like you said, plays them all very well, but and even in disadvantageous metas, and I think with the current state of the meta, we're often seeing those double attacker teams. So that just very much screams like a Sam meta. I mean, he has so many options. So like when you can kind of sit in that back line and, you know, fire away with that Gardevoir, should be really interesting. But as we see, we are going to get into game number 1. Gang going to be on your purple side, Citadel Gaming going to be on your orange side, and you just spoke it into existence. There is that Gardevoir, Husky.
I was like, wow, yeah, there it is. But look at this comp from Citadel. Triple defender composition. And on the other side for T-Gang, they've got the Eldegoss and the Vaporeon. Do we have a crash here?
It's very possible.
Okay. You know. Also, interestingly enough, we have a Leafeon, which Leafeon is a speedster that we really haven't seen a ton of lately, but it does really have a powerful level 4 jungle gank.
And we are going to see that in that central area on the bottom side. And look at this. It is going to be Flareon's taking a peek here in game number 1 for Citadel. So newest addition to this squad, already getting off to a quick start. Mewtwo on to Gang, getting in a nice little 6-point dunk.
Yeah, which makes me wonder here on the opposite side, we've got Inteleon. I wonder if, you know, you kind of take that away from Flareon's, because, I mean, Flareon's Mew is also incredible, but one of his best Pokemon and Pokemon that he likes to bring is this Inteleon. So I wonder here if that was kind of like a, let's take that away from him, or I'm excited to see how this Inteleon ends up coming out in this game.
3v3 in the top side. Leafeon hits the Razor Leaf on the Umbreon. Lots of EVs in game number 1, but no KOs found just yet. We have this lone Crustle in the bottom path taking on 2 players of Tagang, and this Razor Leaf zoning out a lot of members of Citadel, but I do believe Citadel was able to grab that Altaria with that Squirtle.
Yeah, we saw 1 KO in the Umbreon, but that's kind of a Pokemon you don't mind getting KO'd early, as long as you don't let the Leafeon start absolutely spiraling here, then you are at a pretty good spot. But taking a look at the composition of Citadel, they are a scaling comp, right? You have Gardevoir and Blastoise that you need to get to level 13, so those are Pokemon that aren't really going to be doing as well early. So for Citadel, they really have to make sure that T-Gang doesn't snowball with the more early game focused comp.
They are trying to keep the pressure on early on. Mean Look onto the Mewtwo to try to keep them at bay. Vaporeon in the bottom path, throwing out that Muddy Water. There's that Shy Strike right there, and there's a KO. Leafeon taking out that Wartortle, and it is the Umbreon going to have to run backwards into the Flux Zone, grab a Citrus Berry, try to refight. 750 birds coming up, or sorry, not 750 birds, 8-minute Regidrago in the central area as T-Gangs path forward.
Eldegoss stayed alive for a really long time there, but we now have level 7 on the Gardevoir trying to chase down this Mewtwo, who is sitting in the mean look for now. They will get a couple of points in, but T-Gang looking really solid right now. Their early game has gone pretty well, but Citadel has also done a good job of making sure this Leafeon doesn't snowball. However, it does have that level 8, basically a free KO if you get your positioning properly, so if they need to use that Unite move, it is up in the next 30 seconds after they use it, so they may as well. It looks like they did up in the top path. Not able to KO this Wartortle, but they are able to get some high valuable points in.
4 members down here for Citadel Gaming, prioritizing this basement Reggie. It is a Registeel, immediate damage found from So Sad Sam. Here comes the Vaporeon trying to get in, but placing a mean look. There is that E-Ball right there. Flareon's gets that first big secure there. It's going to be that Registeel.
Yeah, great job zoning out the Inteleon as well. One of the best secures in the game with that snipe shot. A really good positioning from the Crustle, who we saw get so low there for a second. I thought for sure they were going to end up going down, but they were zoned out just long enough to let Flareons get that secure.
And Fui battling this Leafeon up in the top path over that Altaria. 98-15. Mew on the bottom side of the map, able to get a KO on the Sun on Mewtwo. And here comes a snipe shot. It's going to connect onto that Umbreon. Citadel Gaming looking forward, trying to get some points out on this bottom goal. 30 points in as well as 32. And that's actually going to go ahead and break the bottom goal zone on the top side. 2-point overdunk. T-Gang gets a little bit of comeback XP.
And then T-Gang breaking the top goal zone as well, but the points very, very close. And I want to look as we go up into this Regieleki. It looks like T-Gang is going to be able to deal with it. The goal zone is broken, so I don't know if they're going to want to push it towards that tier 2, but there is going to be a little bit of a skirmish breaking out here as Citadel backs up.
Another snipe shot into Fui on the Blastoise. I believe that procced the Focus Band. Crustle breaks their Unite move. Nice little X-Scissor right there to hit 2 members. And that means that Leafeon is coming down the bottom path, and it's actually 4 members of T-Gang. Almost everybody down here looking to siege this T1 goal zone. Crustle still down. There's that Unite move from the Inteleon. Umbreon trying to hold this goal zone. It's only at 9 HP. 40 points goes on in. That's a nice overcap for T-Gang.
It was a great job from the Leafeon waiting out the Mew Unite move to make sure they could still target them with the Emerald 2-step, making very quick work out of that squishy attacker Pokemon. And that's kind of the downfall, I guess, of the double attackers, the double backline mage Pokemon, is that if you get Dove, you kind of just go down. But I think Citadel has, for much of this game, done a great job of using those 3 super tanky frontliners to zone out that speedster and make sure that the attackers can get the damage that they need.
Reggie Ice earned here from Citadel Gaming down in that bottom path. All 4 members were converging there. Now you have Rob kind of hovering this central area, looking to see if Citadel Gaming goes for an invade. Snipe shot right there, misses a little bit, but they're going to be fighting over this Reggie Drago in 20 seconds.
Yeah, it's going to be spawning here soon. Gardevoir has to use a Unite move. I believe that didn't actually hit anyone there, but they did end up saving themselves from getting KO'd. What a strange fight here for T-Gang to take in the enemy central area. Nobody going down just yet, but a ton of Unite moves being used.
A lot of Unite moves. There's a Scythe Strike from the Mewtwo. Snipe Shot connects on the Blastoise. That's going to proc a Focus Band right there. There's the Emerald 2-step of Flareon. Pops their Unite move in revenge. Leafeon is going to be able to get just barely away. Mewtwo X might not be as lucky. They're going to go down at the hands of So Sad Sam. Gardevoir getting that revenge KO. 3:30 left on the clock here, and it's been kind of all over the place. Very close game so far.
Yeah, what a play from the Mew right there. They weren't going to let it happen twice where they let Leafeon wait out the Unite move and then use the Emerald 2-step. Instead, they used their, Mystical Mirage at the exact perfect time to dodge the Emerald 2-step there. That's just a fantastic micro play from the Mew to make sure that they stay. I mean, the Leafeon gets away, but they did still get the consolation KO of that Mewtwo.
The Umbreon mean look, just to kind of keep Rob at bay. I think right now it's going to be something that we're going to need to watch for as we get closer and closer to this 2-minute mark. Regieleki, though, at this point in the game, going to make its way towards this T2 goal zone of Citadel Gaming. Still a pretty decent lead here for T-Gang, though.
We saw a Kilo peel towards that tier 2 goal zone, but Vaporeon was sitting on pad waiting for that exact play. So it was really good from T-Gang to make sure that when they don't have vision, they are getting it somewhere and they're making sure that they cover all of their goal zones. Because they are winning, though not by that much. They do still have a really pretty good score lead going into this endgame. Look at Crustle trying to get a secure, not going to be able to get it, but Citadel still going to be able to back up. They didn't use any Unite moves there. Not too bad for them. And they get a KO.
They get a KO on that Mewtwo X. They will be back by the time Kyogre hits the map, but Citadel Gaming has earned themselves very important positioning in this first fight. Snipe Shot's going to connect on the Umbreon. They're going to heal that damage up with the Wish. And we have Vaporeon now fighting its water counterpart, Blastoise. Big damage found. Side Strike going to connect on the Crustle as well as a big Snipe Shot, but Vaporeon goes down.
Wow, Vaporeon going down early, and we did see Citadel peel up to the top path to shrink that score lead from T-Gang, so it's a close battle. Neither team knows what team is in the lead, and with a 5-point differential, we are still at anybody's game. We see Kyogre at about half here. Here comes the Blastoise Unite, but it is going to be Flareon's with the secure. They just ripped it right under the noses of T-Gang.
Very smart play there for Citadel. They knew that they had their Inteleon zoned out, so no Snipe Shot, and Flareon's very wisely was on E-Ball, able to get that secure. They still need some points. 45, double it, make it 90. That's going to give Citadel Gaming the lead, and they're going to be very patient here as Mewtwo gets 30 on the opposite side. But that's still a lead for Citadel Gaming. They're going to try to see exactly if they're still in the lead. The 1-minute timer will tell them that's the story.
Yeah, they now know that Citadel's in the lead, so Citadel can still play it pretty patiently. But everybody is up, and T-Gang needs to start getting some KOs, but it's Vaporeon that goes down, followed by Leafeon. 2 KO streak for Sam on his infamous Gardevoir. Citadel is going to keep pushing forward, and with 42 seconds left, I don't know if there's going to be enough time for T-Gang to come back.
Insane work here for Citadel Gaming. We talked about it pre-game, this double attacker meta that is sort of formed over the last couple of matches, at least on broadcast and the main broadcast. We've seen it a lot, and we've talked about Sam's Gardevoir. We talked about Flareon's Mew, and it's exactly what we're seeing here. This double attacker came in clutch against T-Gang in game 1.
Yeah, the double attacker is a really interesting thing that has kind of come out of these recent metas, and a lot of us kind of thought that attackers were not good anymore after the recent map updates, but as time has gone on, teams have really started to pull out interesting strategies with using attackers, and you'd think that that means speedsters would then become really prevalent, and we just haven't seen too much of that. I guess with the tanky frontline meta, you can just throw 2 attackers in the backline because they're not going to be able to get through your frontline anyway.
True. T-Gang going down in game number 1. It's going to be a victory for Citadel Gaming. 750-261 your final in game number 1. Looking at the KOs, leading the charge, as we talked about. So sad, Sam. 7 KOs, 5 assists on that Gardevoir. Looking like season 1 all over again.
Look at the bans, too. Couple target bans down there that Citadel threw out. The Scyther and Dodrio both being banned. And then that's a really interesting one to go ahead and ban the Miraidon. It's a really strong attacker. It seems like they were trying to kind of bait out specific picks from the other side. And then you ban out Miraidon, which plays good into a double attacker because it has that enhanced charge beam that does a ton of shred. So interesting. What's also like I'm noticing is no Glaceon all day. Not banned, not picked. And I'm wondering if it's like Glaceon is a really good pick for like solo, but it doesn't end up being as strong in competitive. But I was seeing it in Articuno League. It was being banned, it was being picked. I don't know if it's just like the the grassroots scene likes Glaceon and the pro scene doesn't, but I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. I think Glaceon does well and I guess in bulky compositions because it does have that max HP shred, and when you don't see a lot of it, I think there's just some better choices. And I think honestly T-Gang could have potentially gone with Glaceon here because you had the Umbreon, you had the Crustle. So I don't know. Very odd that we're not seeing it. I still think it's pretty good, but I don't know. I haven't seen too much of it even throughout the day in Europe or in LATAM, right?
yeah, that's like what I was kind of looking for, because I don't know, it's just it's an interesting Pokemon, because when it gets there, like, it just shreds through anything. It doesn't matter how tanky that front line is. So I just kind of assumed that Glaceon would be that, like, perfect backliner option, because it has infinite range and a ton of shred. It does like max HP shred, and with so many tanky frontliners, I feel like that pick ends up being really strong. But then I, been watching all day and I haven't seen any Glaceon at all. So I don't know, maybe people figure out how to counter it. Maybe it's like easily counterable, but I guess that's just me. I'm like, I don't understand how people aren't playing this thing. I feel like it's dummy broken. I ban it in every draft. Well, draft is canceled, but when draft was not canceled, I banned it in like every match.
I did too. I was banning Glaceon. I was banning still, I think, a lot of... I still hate Suicune. I still hate Suicune. I'm still banning that Pokemon. Obviously, the Megas are really strong too. But usually other people ban those, so I was like, all right, I'll let other people ban the Charizards, the Gyarados. Meowth, I think, is very strong, but I think not as many people are comfortable with it yet.
Meowth
maybe
is good.
We'll start.
I want to talk about Meowth, actually, because obviously it's not being played competitively yet, but I think that it fits a weird, like, sure hit speedster niche that we just haven't really had. Like Darkrai, yes, but also Darkrai is like a little bit of a weirder support kind of speedster, like harasser, CC speedster. And Meowth kind of fits a weird niche in the speedster class that I wonder if teams pick up, even when it, like, inevitably gets a little bit of a nerf or is allowed to be played competitively. I wonder if it's something teams pick up. But that being said, it's in a meta where speedsters are kind of reactionary picks. Like, nobody's really first picking speedsters or like building a composition around a speedster. Teams are kind of picking it in response to what the other team is picking. But I do wonder if that means Meowth could be like a good response pick to target down things like the Glaceons and the Miraidons in that backline.
I think any time you have a speedster, you're kind of trying to find some targets to win some 1v1 matchups against. And I don't know, it's just hard right now. There's just so many bulky all-rounder. I mean, I know how much you love all-rounders. There's just so many bulky all-rounders that it's like you're almost at a disadvantage if you leave a strong one on the table. Reading some of the chat, Squishy Boy says, I feel like Meowth and Pawmot are in similar use. I could potentially see that. I still feel like Meowth is a little bit squishier though. Like Pawmot at least has like a little bit of bulk. Meowth does seem like
well, I mean,
it goes
there's
down
also
pretty
the
quickly.
key difference that Meowth doesn't have to evolve. It's not a scaling. Like, I honestly felt like playing Meowth, it's more similar to something like Meowscarada, where you're throwing something and then jumping in and then leaving. Like in it doesn't have like the double team ability to like escape as easy, but you throw your payday, you wait, and you see if you can get a KO, and then you jump in, and it just doesn't have to scale the way that Meow does. So I wonder if that is a valuable enough strategy where teams are going to pick it up. But I do agree that with something like Pawmot, it targets Pokemon very easily. It's like a more divey all-rounder. It can get into the backline a little bit easier. I think, again, the problem is scale, and sometimes it takes a really long time to get online.
It really does. It really does. I'm also like thinking about like the way experience has been shifted since the update back in mid-December. And in competitive, we are seeing, obviously, teams sometimes completely dropping the EXP share, which I think is very fascinating to see, like, no EXP share. But then you have some teams that are playing still one EXP share. So the way that teams are forming these compositions and deciding whether or not they want to throw one on is very dependent on the play style that they want to go with. Like, if they want to do more of, like you said, that disruptor composition where you're not going to be around the team, that I think throwing that EXP share on a Pokemon is usually the way to go. There's just so many big changes that have happened, and I don't even think we've talked about what's potentially going to happen here in game number 2 of like what's changed since the last UCS event is the maps are open. So during week number 1, game number 1 will always be Kyogre in week 1, and then week 2 it'll be different. But game number 2 and game number 3, we have some options. The team that lost has the choice if they want to if they want to choose the picks, or if they want to choose their side for picking first, or if they want to choose the map first. So the team could say, I really want to play a rip and flip composition. Maybe we're going to go Rayquaza. If you want to have more of a team fight, we could go Groudon, Kyogre. There's so many wrinkles to this game that are super fun, and I'm excited to see what we're going to get in game 2.
Yeah, I do want to also, like, that is so cool. I feel like this is something that we've been talking about for such a long time. Like, since year 1, so many of us have been like, it would be really cool if we got maps on rotation. And now, like, we have it. Like, it's hard to, I guess, praise this game right now because of everything that's been going on. And it's really unfortunate seeing, like, the state of the game. But I think that competitive really does keep this game alive in a lot of ways, because competitive seems like the area where, like, they are trying to listen to what the community wants and, like, what the competitive players are doing and, you know, where they're going and stuff. And that was such a cool thing for them to do. It just kind of sucks that it's also during when the game is super broken. Nobody can play the game. No one's really, like, streaming the game or able to sit down and play it because of all of the crashing. But it is awesome. Like, that is so cool that they're having the maps being rotated. Watching all day earlier, like, on the main stream, like, seeing it come up with the little overlay. We can go, this is, like, Kyogre, this is the Groudon map now. Like, it is so cool.
Yeah, I really do love that. I think it brings an additional wrinkle to the strategy of this game. When you think about, like, how this game is supposed to be, it's you know, there's obviously the 10-minute game, which is obviously the most important part of the game. But outside of that, there's the 5-minute prep phase, essentially, right? You got draft and bans, and now you have an additional wrinkle into that of what map. And I think different compositions play better on different maps. So very excited about that. Austin Goes asked, when do we start NA games? We just missed game number 1. Citadel Gaming took game number 1 against Tagang. We are waiting for game number 2 to start. This is week 1, day 1, round 1 of our off-stream North America. And yeah, we're just getting into it.
Yeah, the way that things are scheduled for the competitive scene, you have, like, the off-stream games being played like before the on-stream games start for that region. So, you know, right now the on-stream games being played are LATAM, but they're playing the off-stream games for NA. So that when the off-stream NA games end, then we'll see the on-stream NA games. So what we're doing is trying to give you the opportunity to see every single game, because after we're done, then they will pick up with the on-stream NA coverage. So that's why we're here.
That's exactly right. Yeah, and we have our next game about to get started. The main cast will pick up at about 6 p.m. Eastern time when we're done here, because it's like an hour. We should have a pinned message for the Regional League pages, and it should tell you on those pages what the schedule is. If you go and click those links, it'll tell you, like, week 1, who's on stream, who's off stream. But more importantly, we have game number 2. Tagang going to be on your purple side, Citadel Gaming going to be on your orange side, and we are going to take this Talonflame. And we talked about that Disruptor comp. Disruptor, the Sableye, going towards the bottom path, might be for an invade.
Yeah, very interesting here. So we talked earlier about who can still run the EXP share. And one of those is Sableye. But look at this right now, Kyle. 4 members of Citadel up into the top path. Just 1 member in the central area, leaving Talonflame in the bottom path. They don't care. They know they saw a Sableye, so they're just going to run over that top path early.
You talked about 1-1-3, but what about a 4-1-0? Instead, we have a double invade here. Talonflame looking for So Sad Sam on that Glaceon. Are they going to be able to get the safety? No, big KO for Rob.
Yeah, I don't know how well this has started for Citadel, but this looks like my nightmares in veteran rank, so interesting. Immortals playing the long game as well over in the enemy central area. It looks like they did pick up that blue buff, and Citadel now starting to spread back out into a more normal 3 in the top, 2 in that basement path. Goal getter on the Talonflame will come out. That's 19 points for them.
Goal getter, I hardly know her. That's a pretty big one right there.
Another goal getter.
Points in.
Wait, this is a score comp. This is score comp.
Holy, I don't know when the last time I saw a Zoroark running a goal getter, but we are seeing a little bit of a treat here in game number 2. Everything's on the table. And yeah, okay, we are going to see what items everybody is running, and we do have a couple of very interesting
just to the 2 goal
picks.
Getters.
Yeah, just
the 2 goal getters on the speedsters. Like, this is quite the composition. Triple speedster with a Sableye Vaporeon. That is quite the comp for T-Gang. They are just going to look to run over this double backliner composition. We did also talk about Glaceon, where I was confused as to why we weren't seeing it, and this time we do see Sam on that Glaceon. But will it be enough for the triple speedsters? Like, will they be able to take down Glaceon before the speedsters burst them down? And so far, it looks like it.
Yeah, so far so good, although Leafeon did go down there, and T-Gang able to get that Regidrago as well. So Talonflame heading towards this bottom path, holding that goal getter, also a score shield on that Pokemon. So good defensive stand here for Citadel to make sure that they are monitoring these goal zones, because you do not want to let these goal zones break early.
Look at them. Both of those speedsters with the goal getters walking in, looking for the tier 2 goal zone. They knew that it was going to be broken there, and they will be able to score. This is quite the score composition here, so they just really want to get a point lead, and Citadel is going to have to just be keeping up all game. They're doing their best to do that right now. 15 points from this Zoroark, trying to go in here. They're not going to be able to get it, but it's 163 to 100. Great adaptation here from Citadel to kind of pivot their strategy into scoring as well, to make sure that T-Gang doesn't get too much of a lead.
Great play there by Clash to force out the stuns and the Unite move from Mew, who had to use it just to escape. And now on the right side, we do have a Registeel earned from Citadel Gaming on the bottom side of, or sorry, on the top side of the map. On the bottom side of the map is going to be this Regieleki. So score comp is prioritizing scores. They go for the Lecky.
Yeah, and Lecky's just generally kind of the better option, but teams can't really prioritize any specific path because we don't know who's going to be spawning where. And look at this, Vaporeon also has Flip Turn, so not even trying to go with the healing composition. Score Shield popped out on that Zoroark there as well. Another 37 points for them in the top side, whereas Citadel looking to move all 5 of their members down to this tier 1 goal zone.
Oh, they're sieging this T1 goal zone. A lot of points in. However, not enough to break that T1 goal zone. It's T-Gang that's pocket full of points already. And we have a little bit of a scuffle here. There is that Muddy Water. Glaceon's going to fire those Icicle Spears directly into that tanky Pokemon. But the only thing going down is that Mew. Glaceon might also be in trouble. We have the trick on the Hoopa. Here comes Zoroark looking to get a KO. Getting stunned out of their combination, but they still get him. Zoroark takes down the Glaceon in another.
I think that was just kind of not positioning very well on Citadel's side. What was that? Just used to Unite with there. Goal getter, another 25 points go in that top side. I think Citadel's starting to kind of fall behind in keeping up with those scores. It's just such a frustrating composition to play against. They are all over the map, and there's just not a ton you can do about it. They have to just try to play for Groudon, which we didn't even say that is the map of choice here for whatever team ended up picking it. But now Citadel has sucked out Bunny, so they will take 1. But they're doing a good job of playing together as a team, but it is just really difficult to deal with 37 points to go and break this bottom goal zone.
Oh, Icicle Spears are going to chase this Zoroark. However, the illusion is going to provide just enough iframes for them to escape. Ape W getting out of dodge there. Blastoise looking for a 6, followed by another 7. That's still, once again, not enough to break this goal zone. Another 10, still not going to do the trick, as T-Gang is going to rally around this T1 goal zone. Try to get to the Regieleki. Here comes Vaporeon looking to try to steal away the last hit. However, the Flip Turn not going to be in time. Talonflame gets the Registeel on top as a consolation prize.
Just setting themselves up for a little bit of an overcap as that Regieleki hits that tier 1 goal zone. And still, Citadel has made it over 200 points now, so they're trying to keep up with the amount of scores. Zoroark jumps in with a big feint attack, pops the focus band on the Blastoise. Hydro Typhoon is forced out, but they still will go down here to Leafeon.
Kilo trying to run away, but Vaporeon gets the best of them. They'll have their Unite move back by the Kyogre, or is this Groudon? This is Groudon. The Cryogon.
Got you.
Cryogon. That's the mixture of them both.
Gryogre.
Well, I still want to see a Rayquaza game. Maybe we'll see one later. 23 points here from Sableye. Gonna try to score in that home goal zone. It's gonna get snuffed out by Citadel Gaming, so no 23 points. A nice Solar Beam. Blastoise, though, sending them back to the Pokemon Center. 434, 204 with 330 left in game number 2.
But look at the levels here. T-Gang leading by a significant margin both in score and in levels. And I think that's in part because Citadel hasn't had time to farm anything. They haven't been able to just sit and get some experience on their side of the map because T-Gang has been living on their side of the map scoring goals. So they don't really have the levels to deal with right now. But look at this. 5-man push into the bottom path. I don't think T-Gang cares. They're just going to keep going. They might even go for a base push.
Yeah, why not? 36 and 19 going to go on in. Maybe another 28 if Leafeon can get there in time. However, it is Citadel Gaming retreating back to home goal zone just in time to put at least a little bit of a stop there. But it's still a massive lead here for T-Gang. 489-301 as Rob looking for this top Reggie push. Citadel Gaming responds on the bottom path.
Oof. Look at the Zoroark on less than 1 HP, and they will be able to get out here. But that does mean that Citadel is kind of all over this Regieleki. They'll likely be able to send it into that Tier 2 goal zone, but the Registeel spawning in the top path, free for T-Gang to deal with. So they're going to be going into this Groudon fight with 489 points. That's almost a 200-point lead, as well as a Registeel buff.
Registeel buffs can be very valuable. And Reggie just goes ahead and breaks that T2 goal zone, so it doesn't provide as much value as Citadel Gaming would have liked. Instead, they're going to be fighting for position around the Groudon.
It's a smart play to have Hoopa as well, because you can just guard this Tier 2 goal zone. You know that T-Gang is just going to try to split off and score rather than go for a fight because they have such a big score lead right now. But Hoopa can bring them back in at any time. They see that Talonflame look for a score. They can fight them a little bit, and then they can always be pulled out with the Rings Unbound, who is in fact chipping a little bit at this Groudon to try to make T-Gang think that they might be doing it.
AW going to run away from the Snorlax Hoopa. They do snuff out 2 of those members. I believe Sableye had vision on a couple of the others in the central area. Rob hiding in that tall grass, looking for a potential angle, maybe for a goal-getter score. Instead, teams are going to start forming around this Groudon.
Yeah, the Talon does have an opportunity to go for it here. Instead, they're just going to go for the full base push, full pockets, and into the base. That's going to be 300 points in for them. And Groudon does go down to Citadel, so they do have an opportunity to get some scores. But I don't think T-Gang cares. They're just going to want to keep racking up the points on the opposite side.
And this is going to be really rough. Let's see if they're going to have enough points in pocket. 439, 771. You have a couple Pokemon with full pockets, but that still might not be enough as Leafeon Sableye looking for additional scores. 841 now, 659. That's not enough. More points raining in for T-Gang. Look like they're going to win game number 2.
Yeah, it's not even close. They still need 200 more points, and I don't think you can pick up enough points on the ground currently. Really insane composition from T-Gang that ended up working really well for them. Double goal-getter, triple speedster with a Sableye, not even worrying about the team fights. You don't even try. You just keep scoring all game. It's a very cheesy composition, but it's so frustrating to play against, unfortunately, for Citadel. Not able to pull out that 2-0 win.
Yeah, something very similar to what we saw Luminosity Gaming do in Game 3 of a maybe not, or was it a Game 5? Because I think it was a best-of-5 game where Luminosity pulled it out against Nouns in a win-or-go-home match, and very similar result to 859, 659. So, yeah, 200 points still needed from Citadel Gaming, and T-Gang evens up the series 1-1, so we are getting a game number 3.
Dude, I'm just gonna say, I hate score comp. I hate it so much. I hate watching it. I hate seeing teams play it. I hate that it's a thing that can even work. I'm so glad that they gutted Amulet Coin the second it came out, so that score comp wasn't more popular. I hate it. Look at no damage. Look at it. It's just,
None.
it's so cheesy. It's so stupid. I mean, it works, I guess, in that situation.
Yeah.
I don't know if Citadel was like completely prepared for it, but no fighting was even done the entire game.
Yeah.
How are you Talonflame with 5,000 damage and win the game? It should be illegal. Jail time.
It should be
10
It
years
should be.
without parole, at least, if not the death penalty, to be completely honest. Goal getter Talonflame 5,000
Talonflame.
damage? Are we for
Yeah.
real right now? What are we doing?
Chef says fighting is sinful.
Dude.
Yep. Yeah, walk the
It's the
path of peace.
the pacifist run. The pacifist Pokemon Unite run is crazy. Like,
Oh,
you're not doing
my
anything.
goodness.
You're just, I don't know. I hate it. Normal
Yep.
crash out.
Yeah.
I hate it.
I mean, I do too, but I think it's still fun. It's still viable, but yeah, I don't know. There's so many things that I dislike more than score comp, and that's mostly the crashes.
Yeah, like
we'll save that for another day.
Like Psystrike Mewtwo X.
Mm-hmm.
And Top Half
Psystrike
Blastoise.
Top half Blastoise. That's what Citadel had right there, right? We was rocking
Yeah.
the top half Blastoise in this game.
Yeah, they played it the first game as well. It's
That's true.
a little broken right now, so like
Yeah.
to be honest, I understand why teams are picking it because it's broken. How do you win the game? How do you win the game with 8 total KOs?
4 of them
How?
from one Pokemon. 4 of them from one Pokemon. Yeah. Every time I'd see like 5k damage from a speedster, usually I'm crashing out in my solo queue game, but instead they're on the winning side of this one. So I don't know even what to believe anymore.
Yeah.
Game number 3 though should be exciting. Maybe we'll see double score comp, one on each side. It'll just be a race to points, and we can crash out because of that.
Dude,
Maybe not.
just kill me, honestly. Well, like, what do you even do against it? Like, what do you do? How do you play against it? Because, okay, so I get a lot of things have to fall into place for a score comp
Yep.
to work. Like, you have to be able to have vision constantly, not really be seen, you know, be able to take out anybody who's, like, preventing you from scoring. But I don't know, once you get a score comp going, how you really counter it. And I guess it wasn't really working for Citadel because they were trying to move as one and just crash goal zones that way.
Yeah.
But it just didn't really work because at that point, T-Gang didn't care. They didn't need to care.
Yeah.
So what do you even
It surprised me that we saw. It surprised me that we had a trick Hoopa opposed to a hyperspace hole Hoopa, just because like you're gonna try to try to prevent these scores from going on in. I don't know. I feel like hyperspace hole could have been a valuable tool. I mean, maybe you could also look at something that does damage underneath shields to kind of prevent those score shields from working. So something like a Tyranitar, Urshifu, Pokemon like that could do okay, at least kind of mitigate some of those scores, maybe not fully prevent them. But yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Yeah, it's fair.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't like. What do you? I don't know. Just ban it. It's I hate
Torkoal
it.
Unite says the solo queue speedsters that do 10k are just Smurf accounts training for UCS. So true. So true.
Clearly. You can
Scoring
win.
wins games.
Clearly, you can win.
Mm-hmm. You too can be score comp kings and queens. I mean, we'll see what happens in game 3. I mean, anything could happen in game 3, but I honestly, if it's not banned, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Razor Leaf Decidueye. In that previous composition, when you have the 3 speedsters, it's really tough to have any sort of Decidueye because it would just blow up. But I think the theory of Decidueye against a score comp like that could work, especially with Razor Leaf being able to target multiple Pokemon, so you'll be able to interrupt more of those scores. But against 3 speedsters, that's a tough ask.
I mean, like, so then what do you do with it? You still have to put your entire team next to the Decidueye to set it up to make sure it could do that. And what are you doing? Just standing there waiting for a single Pokemon to jump into the goal zone? Okay, you KO them, but then on the other side, there's the other 3 Pokemon going for the score down there. So like, I think that you can't have a team comp against a score comp where it focuses everything on one Pokemon. Like, you can't really build a composition around one strategy against a score comp. Like, you have to be able to have Pokemon that can also roam, I guess.
Yeah, you need.
But I don't even
sort
know.
of like...
Yeah, you gotta be able to like roam. Maybe, I don't think that tankiness necessarily, but like things that can displace, things that can do CC, just push them off of your goal zones. I don't know.
Fight fire with fire. Just run your own version of score comp.
Your own
Take some of those Pokemon away. Take some of those Pokemon away from them, honestly. I mean, you could take away Sableye. Or, honestly, if you're Citadel, maybe you look to ban some of those Pokemon out. Ban a Speedster, ban a Sableye. I think Sableye is just so valuable in score comps. Not because it can score, but because it gathers so much information safely with all the time that it stays invisible, or just being able to plant those Aeos energy. So interesting stuff. Let's take... Ooh, look at this. Yeah, well, we have a little bit of time. We'll take a look, see what's going on here. Looks like this is game number 1 of Peru versus DreamHack. Ooh, this is a good matchup between two teams.
Yeah, I always am going to be rooting for Peru, but kind of a classic LATAM matchup. Like, these are two of the best teams in the world, probably. And we've got that top path Blastoise, so classic.
Draken on the Blastoise. So I mean,
oh, maybe it's
maybe top path. Yeah, maybe it is more. Yeah, and it is Surf, so yeah, maybe it is kind of more of the tankier build.
Interesting. I can't see the score, but wait, let me see. I can see it. 141 to 59. Okay, sick. Looks like they're getting a little bit run over, though. Wait, do we let Mega Gyarados? Oh, no, that's regular Gyarados. We didn't let Mega Gyarados. They just picked regular Gyarados on purpose.
I've seen a lot of regular Gyarados. I've also seen a decent amount of regular Lucario getting picked up when both of those Pokemon are banned. The thing that I'm very shocked is, I guess, not seeing is neither of the Charizards are really seeing play in either the picks or the bans.
Well, isn't Mega Charizard Y banned?
Y is banned.
Yeah, Mega Charizard Y is banned. Mega
sense.
Charizard X, I haven't seen anybody playing. And, you know, I don't know why regular Charizard isn't, but I'm happy to see it not, so.
True, yeah.
Does anyone
less Charizard,
all-rounder hater?
the less Charizard, the better. Shiv hates all-rounders, too.
Well, like, it's because, like, why? That's, and if you, and then when you think about it, why?
Why?
So that's my reasoning for not really being a fan. Because, like, at the end of the day, it's night.
True.
And why do you need that many all-rounders in the game?
Yeah, why is everything an all-rounder? That's what I want to know.
But it's like they all do the exact same thing. Except when they're, like, speedsters. Like Mimikyu isn't an all-rounder, that's a speedster. Suicune isn't an all-rounder, that's a support. And, you know, the ones that aren't actually all-rounders, those do something else. But every, like, traditional all-rounder does the exact same thing as each other. The exact same thing. So it's literally just whatever one is better is the one that gets played. And that's it.
Yeah.
Pisses me off.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I'm not a big fan of the all-rounders either.
How many crash outs am I going to have on this episode?
We should add a counter.
Husky crash out counter?
Husky crash out counter. Like, we should have a number of crash counter and then a crash out counter.
Number of crash counter, crash out counter, and crash out influenced by crash counter.
Which one goes the highest? Probably just the regular crashes, right?
Yeah, probably. All right, final stretch. Peru's winning Gyarados ult into 3. Jumps through.
Oh, Dragonite was
They're trying to just rip.
ripping it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a...
Oh, and he gets Mimikyu'd. Yep.
Yeah, he got Mimikyu'd. Can they get it, though? No, Peru. Those are my boys right there.
Great play by a Nemo.
Is a Nemo...
The Kyogre catch.
Do we have
if they don't...
game 3 yet?
Not yet. I feel like if they don't Mimikyu Unite Dragonite, they just finish that rip.
Yeah.
Really good heads up play.
Heads up play. The casters.
Heads up play.
Casters love to say heads up play.
I love heads up play. I love cookie jar.
Cookie jar. On the side of.
On the side of, yep.
Here we go. Game number. That one. You love that one.
Yeah, we need some isms. Us Kyle isms.
Yeah, I think the cookie jar is your thing.
I do love the cookie
That
jar.
is that is a classic Kyle.
No one else says cookie jar. I need to
no one
break
says
out a good
cookie jar.
Cowabummer. It's been a while since I've broken out the Cowabummer.
Blastoise is out quite a lot now, so there should be a good opportunity. All right, no score comp this time, so I wonder what has been banned.
Right.
But Citadel trusts the double backline.
They do. Let's get into it. Game number 3 to Gang on your purple side. Citadel Gaming on your orange side. We're going to take AW. It's going to be a top path Blastoise up to the top. Rob? I know. It's going to be that Alolan Raichu in the central area for Citadel.
Yeah, but I get it. Because on the other side, Citadel has Mewtwo X. So I hate them both, and I don't want to watch top lane. We do have Leafeon coming back here for T-Game. This is the only team I feel like I've seen that has been liking this Leafeon still. It's still got a really good early game. It's still really strong, but I just feel like a ton of teams haven't really been enjoying it as of late.
Yeah, it's still very good. We'll see what it ends up going towards the top or towards the bottom path. Currently hovering that central area, looking for a way in, and it is going to start migrating towards that bottom path. Sees that Mew hiding there, might look for a KO there, but Alolan Raichu looks for and finds a KO in the top path. Poor little Milcery might be next on the chopping block.
Yeah, there's not really much Clash can do there. They're just going to try to buy as much time as possible. I mean, they did. We've got Squirtle coming back up. Still a couple points going to be able to go in here for Citadel, but D-Gang going to be moving to the bottom path instead. You know, they lost top path, so Leafeon just trying to look for opportunities to jump on somebody to get some KOs. That's really the way that you have to play Leafeon early.
And they also have to make sure that there's no invade. Unfortunately, they found out the hard way. Alolan Raichu went for the invade with that pocket Hoopa, able to get the KO on Leafeon, which was the level leader for Tagang. Not anymore in the game, as that level 6 Alolan Raichu is able to steal away a lot of wild Pokemon from Tagang.
We got Immortals on the Vaporeon this time. I really want to see what those bans were. I wish that in Spectate we got to see the draft because I really want to know what happened. Look at Sam! Gets a shield just barely to get out. They're going to have to sacrifice a Kilo, but I think that ends up being a huge win for Citadel.
Citadel definitely won that in exchange because, yeah, Akilo made an incredible play to save the Alolan Raichu, which would have yielded a lot of experience over to Tagang. Instead, they're going to fight over this Regidrago. Flareon's looking for a last hit. Evil is true, and they get it.
It never fails to secure something. The triple Mew in this series, and I think Flareon's has secured just about every objective he has gone for. Now has to watch out for this Leafeon, who has been kept at bay, only level 6 right now, as opposed to the Sam on the Raichu with level 7.
Level 7. Altaria family mostly going over to Citadel as Tagang just kind of has to watch the experience get gobbled up by Citadel. Mewtwo X in the Mega Form, going to take the top path by storm. We all by its lonesome against that War Turtle, going to win that 1v1 matchup, so smartly does not advance. However, Alolan Raichu gets a KO onto that Crustle as well as this T1 gold zone. They might look to break it instead. They're just going to leave it very low.
123 now to 21, a very different story than we saw in game number 2 with the score composition. And I also want you to pay attention to the way that Citadel positions their attackers when they know where Leafeon is. In that last fight, they knew Leafeon was in center, so you could have Sam run forward, make sure that they jump on the other Pokemon that are trying to defend, and they don't really have to worry about it much, versus when Leafeon is around, they play very close to the Vaporeon. Just really smart positioning, which you have to have if you want to run a composition like this.
No score comp needed for Citadel, but they are reining in points still. 192 on the board. They're able to deposit a few points in that T2 on the bottom side as well. Now they're going to fight over this Altaria family. Crustal in a little bit of trouble. They might go down here, but
Wow.
Alcremie trying to throw a recover puff. Unfortunately, unable to walk towards it. There's that Infinite Cyber.
Wow,
And
the
Citadel
Cyber.
Gaming advancing in the central area of Tagang. Gets a massive KO and a big team fight win.
Absolutely insane Infinite Cyber in there just to catch one more Pokemon and also push this Leafeon out. They haven't gotten an opportunity to use a Unite move because if they were to, they would just be jumping into a defender that you can't KO immediately, even with an Emerald 2-step. So the Vaporeon, I mean, I love, like, Immortals is one of my favorite tanked players. They're just so fun to watch. So seeing them also playing really well on something like Vaporeon, making sure those attackers are being protected the entire time, the Leafeon hasn't been able to do a ton.
Not a ton yet. No objectives hitting the map here just yet, but in 30 seconds, there'll be another Reggie Roulette in the bottom side, and then also Reggie Alecki up in the top path. So right now, it's going to be the name of the game is going to be capturing wild Pokemon, trying to get some experience, although Tagang is looking for that central area invade. Aquilo getting caught out. There's that Emerald 2-step, big KO right there. However, return the favor. Flareon's gets the Leafeon.
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I think you'd rather lose your Hoopa and then take the Leafeon, so I don't really know what T-Gang was thinking in that moment. I guess you just want any KO. I don't know the items that Leafeon's running, but maybe it's an Excel Bracer, and it really just needs to start building something up, and you know you can at least get somebody, but I guess I'm just trying to figure out why they would make that play, because it wasn't really good. But I guess at this point, when you're behind in levels, any KO that you can get is a good KO.
Zombie composition, just trying to get anything that they can. Yeah, just kind of turn the brain off, try to look for a KO, we'll see what happens. Fortunately, it's not working out so well. Reggie Alecki getting shred down from Citadel Gaming. They have won that Registeel, they have won a Reggie Alecki, and now Reggie Drago has hit the map, and Citadel Gaming might be looking to migrate towards it.
I mean, you have a Hoopa, right? You have Rings Unbound. If you can figure out where everybody else is, then you can pop those Rings Unbound, and there it is. They throw it in the back so that they have to come through without hitting any member of T-Gang. Crustle gets taken out before it's able to use its Unite move. Here comes the Alcremie Unite move as well, trying to heal everybody up, but the damage is too high from Citadel. Regieleki is going to walk in before the Leafeon hits. They throw an Emerald 2-step, but it's on top of a scoring Pokemon, and they're not going to be able to get anybody on Citadel.
Oh, that's very unfortunate for Tagang. They lose that T2 goal zone. Potentially another Reggie Alecki could be walking towards that home goal zone based on when that one in the top path was taken from Citadel. So something that we'll have to watch as we get closer and closer to this Groudon in game number 3. Now, Reggie Drago getting chipped away by Citadel. Bunny is looking for a steal here. Mewtwo X might be looking to try to get a final hit, but here comes AW. Going to start damaging the Reggie Drago for Tagang. One final push out, and it is going to be Tagang. Almost a Hail Mary Solar Beam from Flareon's. Not this time.
I thought for a second that Flareon's had it with the Solar Beam. I mean, it's a smart play from T-Gang. You got to get experience where you can, and Citadel doesn't want to let anybody get caught out. I mean, look at the levels over there. You've got level 14 on that Alolan Raichu, 13 on the Mewtwo. You don't want to lose any of those Pokemon because of T-Gang's levels. They'll spike right up. Every lead that they've built will be pretty much decimated, so you just got to play it safe. Give up that one objective, but you could easily take this Regirock in the bottom path.
Regirock in the bottom path. 2:15 on the clock. Citadel Gaming in the driver's seat. They have good positioning in this Groudon pit.
Yeah, look at Immortals just kind of standing there. They're like, yeah, if you're looking for vision, here I am. And I look at where Raichu is playing. in the perfect position to get right behind both Aquilo and Immortals so that nobody can get back there and catch them out. But now they see everybody on T-Game. They're going to try to go for Crustle here. Bunny going to get caught. They have to use a Unite move due to the Infinite Cyber, and Immortals just going to walk in.
AW gets their Unite move. There's that Fluffy Cream Supreme. Crustle is the first one to go down. Mew is also dangerously low, has to pop their Unite move. Now Leafeon is down. Hoopa in the Rings Unbound form, doing a ton of damage to this Blastoise. Focus Band procced right there. Gonna have to retreat backwards, but Tagang has survived this onslaught. However, they do go down. Blastoise goes down at the hands of Citadel.
And look at that, we've got the Future Sight coming in, pulling that other Mewtwo, the twins, fighting each other here. If we will take them down. Now 2 members down for T-Gang, 3 more have respawned. Leafeon gonna try to get another Emerald 2-step back, which could still turn the tides of this game. They are only about 250 points behind, little less than that. If they do pick up Groudon, they could still win this game.
They could. It's going to be an uphill battle. Bunny has vision on a few members of Citadel. They're going to have to find their way in. Hoopa's going to trick the Raichu, and now Groudon starts to get hit. There's an Emerald 2-step. They take out So Sad Sam. Side Strike is going to connect in the backline, but Leafeon goes down. Groudon now at half. Bunny looking to section off a couple members. Here comes this Vaporeon. There's that Muddy Water. Groudon getting dangerously low. There's that Hydro Typhoon. Knocks up the Mewtwo X. Mewtwo Y going down. Pyrokiria trying to run away. Flareon gets his Citadel. Secures Groudon.
I watched him just stand there lining up the Electro Ball. I was like, yeah, he's got this. There's no way that Flareon doesn't hit this with an Electro Ball. Great play, though, by T-Gang. Because the Emerald 2-step came out, took out Sam, they really did have a chance there. That could have been where Citadel fell apart. But great job to them for making sure that they stayed calm, able to get the Groudon secure, able to take this one in a 2-1 fashion. And now let's see what those bans were, because was T-Gang barred from playing Score Comp again? Why, I wonder why they didn't.
Yeah, I wonder too. 7-11 open all day was Citadel Gaming. 116 for Tagang in game number 3. And yeah, looking at the bans, no Sableye, no Dodrio, no Scissor/Scythe there. So yeah, very much a ban on the Score Comp.
Yeah, they banned the Sableye. I guess that was enough for T-Gang not to be able to run the Score Comp because Sableye was banned out. But yeah, I guess Citadel didn't want to deal with that again, and when you don't run into a comp like that, I guess they did pretty good. they did pretty good.
I wouldn't.
At least they picked the right Mewtwo X.
That's true. Yeah, the pulls came in really clutch there. If we had some really, really big ones that kind of set Citadel Gaming up for success. I saw a few really good pulls into some of So Sad Sam's damage. I think he even pulled one into a Unite move at one point. Yeah, crazy stuff there for Citadel.
Yeah, it was a really good set, except for Score Comp. But other than that, I wonder, like, what the thought is with the Leafeon. It just didn't, like, it seemed like it was picking up KOs here and there, but it just didn't seem like, I guess, the right Pokemon for the compositions that they were playing. I'm not sure what they see in it, honestly.
I don't know. I agree, S. Gotti. I'm also happy that a team picked up Flareon's. I mean, you saw a lot of value that he was able to provide in the games that they won, especially on that Mew. Some big E-ball secures, not only in this game, but in game 1 as well. So, yeah, very, very happy to see Citadel Gaming finding some success with this player.
Yeah, I mean, he's so good. He secured, like, everything. Perfect timing on the Electro Balls to make sure the secures come in. Just really
E-ball.
good.
Yeah, not going to make those mistakes, especially on Mew with, there's so many different ways to play, so many different move sets within its kit. Always got to hold that E-ball where he missed. Obviously, that one, like, Hail Mary with the Solar Beam, but I don't even think that in that one that having E-ball there would have been good because I think you're in E-ball range, there's too many people on Tagang that could have taken him out. I like the Solar Beam play there, but it's good.
Isn't it crazy that the Alchemy's damage was about as much as the Talonflame's damage from game number 2?
yes. That is really funny. Flareon says, we have the best record in the league right now. Yes, you do. 1-0.
Yes, woohoo!
Which happens
Best
to be
record
the
in
only record.
league.
The only team with a win.
Yeah,
right now.
we don't have to say that. Yeah, they're the best
Yeah.
team right now
Number
in
one.
NA. Number one.
Yeah,
in
don't
NA.
don't fumble the league lead.
So now what do we wait for? What are we saying?
Tagang will take
Dig?
on Dignitas. Yeah, Tagang and
Okay.
Dignitas will be next. Yep.
All right, cool. I wonder how fast they will get on. What do you think about Dig? Like, do you think that they are like really, really good, or do you think that we saw a fluke earlier in the season?
I think they're the team to beat. Even in the off season, it seemed like this team of Dignitas, I think they are kind of the most complete team. They have, the right pieces, top players in essentially every role. It was just a matter of can they, get it all together and come together. And obviously during LAIC, everything came together perfectly. Insane work winning that entire tournament. And at this point, that's the only real UCS event that we've had, and especially like multi-region events. So they kind of have a target on their back. I feel like they're the best team until someone dethrones them. And obviously we have 5 weeks of season play for a team to kind of separate themselves and maybe crown themselves the champion. But until I see someone take down Dignitas, I think they got to be number one.
Yeah, I'm excited to see like how they start out in the league. I'm really excited to see. I'm also excited for EG. That should be fun to watch them throughout the season. But Dig just like, I don't even know if it was like an upset or like an underdog type of situation, but they looked so good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get a water.
Yeah,
Do you want
that
to take a
sounds good.
break?
Yeah, I think we could probably take a quick break because I think we'll take a quick break and then we'll get more action on the
Grab a
stream
drink,
once we get back.
grab a snack. We'll
Yep,
be
that's
right
the one.
back with more
Huge.
Pokemon Unite.
And welcome back in, trainers. We have week number 1 action. We have round number 2. We are going to see Tagang once again. This time their opponent is going to be Dignitas, your LAIC champion, and it should be a really good one.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Dig again. It should be really cool. They're a great team, and I think that also Tagang, coming off of a loss, has something to prove, but Here we go. We got a Zacian. T-Gang pulling out all the stops here.
Oh, huh? Yup. Tagang are pulling out some stops. We are going to see Ender on the Psyduck. Toon's going to be on that top path Blastoise that you love oh so much. And Otter, one of the best Mews, going to be showcasing that in the bottom path.
Yeah, we've got Otter out of support jail this year and going back to his roots of attacker Mew. Psyduck rocking the EXP share here. Looks like they were gonna go for an invade, but they saw Clash on the Zacian going for an invade, so instead Ender gonna pull back around. They do not get that ball toy. Clash able to pick that up out from under them, and this is a so far pretty successful invade here. They are gonna take the blue buff as well. Can they get out though? They will have to use an eject button, and very low. Ooh, they finally go down.
Finally go down to the hands of the Torchic, so they steal that blue buff right on back to Gang. Does get some value out of it, but Toon up in the top path, holding a lot of experience, or I guess a lot of Aeos energy, meaning that he got a lot of decent amount of last hits. And you see on the bottom path, Otter, 24 points held. That means Dignitas doing some pretty decent work down on the bottom path as well.
Yeah, look at Bunny now sitting here in this bottom path bush. Interesting here, both teams have sent their central area Pokemon down to the bottom path. Instead, those birds get absolutely obliterated. Nobody goes down, though. Instead, what a great pull there from that Combuskin and a hit with the Electro Ball. Not enough for any KOs.
Psyduck hits Ender, looking to take advantage of a KO here. Instead, it is going to be Toon that gets the last hit, so Zacian going down at the hands of them. Now we have a War Turtle on the map, and once again, it is going to be a Vaporeon, so Zugrug providing a decent amount of vision here for Otter. Now looking for a score, 7 points in on this T1, and now Tagang just has to watch, but on the opposite side, 30 points in for this Talonflame.
We've got the Goal-Getter Talon coming back here, and we have Dodrio as well, so kind of similar to the score comp that T-Gang was running before, but we just kind of got this double speedster. We saw previously that every single game Dodrio was banned from T-Gang, so they were scared of this Dodrio. So considering that, maybe they put some points in, maybe they start to do really well here.
Regidrago up for the taking. It is Dignitas in position, but here comes Clash on the Zacian. Good zoning by Ender, gonna try to push them away. War Turtle, it's Toon, gets that Regidrago, and now it's Dignitas maybe making a march towards this T1 goal zone on the bottom path. Ender leading the charge. However, they see a lot of members of Tagang here, so they are gonna go ahead and retreat and not go for that push.
I mean, look at this comp from T-Gang. You've got Snorlax for frontline and kind of Zacian. Then you also have Mega Lucario, which can come in, get some really good secures. You've got the secure option from Talonflame that's also running a score shield there. Go get her score shield Talon, because why not? So they're trying to build up some points, but they've also, from the score comp that we saw in the game against Citadel, they've also pivoted a little bit and pulled out a bit of a tankier front line. So we'll have to see if that ends up working a little better for them.
Clash has been spending a lot of time in the enemy central area. Good psychic there from Ender. Try to push them away. And Otter now looking to go on the chase here. It's going to be invades on both sides of the map. It's going to be this Talonflame able to escape the clutches of this Vaporeon. Yeah, Blaziken able to secure this Regieleki down on the bottom path, as it is going to be a Registeel up top.
The Goal-Getter comes out, score shield, 12 points to break that goal zone. While Regieleki going towards the bottom path, Blaziken will be able to take down Snorlax off screen there. Regieleki will walk in, and 30 points will go in. Now completely tied in score, 171 to 171 here. And both teams trying to look for more opportunities to get a couple points. And we've got the fly up from the Talon. They've got 4 points in their pocket. Can they get in? No, they cannot. They'll be taken out.
3 members converging, making sure Talonflame goes down. I thought for a second we were going to get a Musted Auto. Yeah, very good serve. Dodrio pops that full heal, tries to get out of dodge, able to escape the clutches of Dignitas for the time being. Dodrio able to take off screen the KO onto the Mew, but Registeel still up in this top path. Tagang has some positional advantage because of that T1 goal zone going down for Dignitas. They're going to try to take advantage of this Vaporeon, trying to get a steal up there, already down to half, but Tagang should be able to close this out. No problem. Yep, there's the fly, does a trick.
Yeah, I mean, a bit of a muddy water to see if you can eke out that secure, but I don't necessarily think that Zug actually thought that they would be able to get it there, but they are going to continue fighting. Unite move from the Vaporeon there, moving in, trying to see if they can pick up this Zacian. They will push both of those Pokemon back and get another stack here, while 40 points go to the bottom path from Talonflame. And at this point in the match, towards the mid game, we've got a couple Unite moves coming out.
And here's the block from Snorlax. There is the power nap to try to slow down these scores from coming out. Mega Lucario looking to power up punch, but great psychic there from Ender to keep them at bay. Gonna try to continue to move forward. Power up punch being charged, but Zugrug able to make a stop right there. Blastoise trying to defend. There's that surf to try to get the way away from that close combat. Otter sometimes doing a dance, but Bunny finally gets the KO there.
Poor Otter, now trying to chase down this Mega Lucario, who is now not Mega. They will be able to pick them up. Bunny next on the chopping block. They do have a block out, but not going to be enough to withstand that Blaziken, who picks up a double KO.
Yeah, that Focus Blast to close the deal right there. Now damage onto this Regieleki, so a little bit of prioritization for Tagang on these objectives. We're gonna peel back a little bit, maybe allow it to lace his health. Here comes the fly out. The Ender takes it away from Tagang.
Ender, the hero, taking it away from a fly Talonflame. That is not something you see every day, but that is nothing for Ender. And Break Eject Button Surf!
Wow.
What was that from Toon? The Lucario gonna be able to get away, but if nothing else, it was pretty funny.
It was very funny. Funny, haha, not funny. I don't even know. Regieleki trying to make its way towards this T2 goal zone. Tagang able to handle it. 3:30 on the clock. They still have a little bit of a lead here, so this score composition still doing some numbers. 297, 261, but not quite what we saw with them against Citadel earlier on this evening.
Yeah, so what I kind of want to talk about with the way Dignitas has responded to this double speedster semi-score comp is look at Dignitas's composition. They really don't have a lot of damage, but they have a lot of Pokemon that can fight wherever they want to on the map. Even though we see Talonflame there getting another 22 points in with the goal getter. But like you have Blastoise, you have Blaziken. They can fight wherever they feel like fighting. So if Tagang is splitting off to score, even if they do score, they will get taken down because somebody is going to be able to withstand that amount of damage. So I think that they have kind of sacrificed a little bit more consistent damage for the ability to deal with both of those speedsters looking for opportunities to score.
261, 355 now with 30 seconds until our first Kyogre of this round. We're going to look to try to gain some experience, so capturing some of these wild Pokemon that are still on the map. There's not a whole lot, but going to try to get some of these power spikes before this last fight. And what does Dignitas need to do to recapture this score lead?
I mean, I think Dig can definitely win this game. I don't think that you can let Tagang just walk in to your goal zones. I think that you have to make a really strong decision and get some picks early. This could be an opportunity. They're trying to chip at the Snorlax here a little bit before the fight. They see Talonflame, and it doesn't look like Tagang actually wants to go for that base push that we saw when they previously played score composition. And now Rob forced to use the Flame Sweep. And Dig, Mew already with the Unite move, pushes multiple members of Tagang out, starting to chip at this Kyogre, but actually it looks like they're more just trying to keep Tagang separated.
And there's that Hydro Typhoon from Toon. Mew's gonna have to use that eject button. Otter very dangerously low. Bunny on the chase, unable to get him. Good play there from Otter to go on in. Kyogre already at half. Dodrio looking to try to get in. Ender trying to keep a couple Pokemon at bay. Lucario, do they have a power-up punch? Solar Beam downtown. Dignitas somehow secures the Kyogre.
What? The Vaporeon! Zugrug ends up getting it. I don't even know what it was that ended up getting that secure, but twice during this game, out securing the Talonflame with Fly on the defender and supporter Pokemon that Dignitas was playing. Unreal. They're going to be able to get enough points in here. 661 to 355. They need over 300 points to come back, and I mean, we've got a goal getter on the Talonflame, but I feel like they need to get some KOs.
There's one right there, but it's in the wrong direction as Talonflame goes down. Here comes a Sovereign Sword from the Zacian, but they are getting sliced down to size by Dignitas. Insane work here. Fantastic secures. Hero plays from Zugrug. Thought for a second that Mew had to get pushed out, and they did push out the Mew, which was a good job from Tagang, and they forced him to kind of use that Solar Beam, and just wasn't enough because Vaporeon somehow, some way, was the thing that had that last second secure. I thought Lucario might have had a better shot.
Yeah, they were able to get it done there. A lot of, like, Not secure on their side, and Dig just like, I don't know, I guess it's just the nerves that you get when playing against them. They just make you like, they have just like a little bit of an edge to those secures in the last moment. But I mean, again, we see this kind of score comp coming out, and we saw it work once, and Dignitas is not going to let it work again.
Yeah, all right. 971, 455, your final here in game number 1. Dignitas taking it to him, leading the charge. Zealot, 6 KOs, 7 assists on that Blaziken. Obviously, we have to talk about Zugrug on the Vaporeon. I mean, what an incredible player. What an incredible secure to kind of keep them in this game. Otherwise, I think if Tegang gets that final hit on that, I think they probably run away with it.
Yeah, I think so. They definitely had the ability to make it and score. But I think that, you know, I guess toot my own horn, I was kind of right. Like the damage that Tegang had was absorbed pretty well by Dignitas's team. And even though they weren't like doing a ton of damage in those fights, they were positioned really well, making sure that they were absorbing whatever Tegang was doing. So it was a really good response, I think, to something like score comp. Plus, we also see that Sableye was, again, banned. So they don't want to let Tegang run the full version of the score comp.
Yeah, and Tegang banning all Megas, so Mega Mewtwo Y and X, along with Gyarados. So Mega is still very strong, this just in. But score comp, still pretty good, apparently. Just not working in this game, although they did make this game incredibly close. I think, like, maybe if you get a Sableye, you have a little bit more ability to kind of put on a lot more pressure because you have that vision. But I do like the call out that you had there about, like, previously of needing, like, Pokemon with a little bit of independence. So you, like you said, you have a lot of Pokemon that can kind of fight on their own, Blastoise, Vaporeon, and then the Blaziken, all doing just a lot of work away from the fight to make sure that you're trying to minimize as much as you can that score comp from breaking all those goal zones. Tegang wasn't able to penetrate those T2 goal zones and score in the home base as much as they probably wanted to, like they did in Game 2 against Citadel.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely right. So I don't know what Tegang does. I think that Dig is going to keep banning Sableye because that seems to be the only thing that has worked for Tegang today. I just think that, like, this team is really solid. They just haven't been able to figure out how to win by team fighting.
Yeah.
And a team like Dignitas, or I guess maybe it's just like Ender and Toon, like teams with those players love a game where you're team fighting a lot. So they kind of force you to fight all of, like, they force you to get into team fights more often. So Dignitas is kind of built in a completely different way than Tegang likes to play. And at this point, it looks like Dignitas is in control, right? So Tegang kind of has to adapt to the game that Dignitas is trying to play and try to beat them at their own game, because Dig is not going to let Tegang play their game.
No, I wouldn't. I think if you're going to be able to make some players uncomfortable and force them out of their comfort zone, I think that's always a good thing, and Dignitas is able to do that because they're experienced. I mean, this is essentially the TTV roster from year 2, with the addition of obviously Zealot and then Toon, who was on Ender's team previously, but we have a really strong core. Otter, Zugrug, Ender, some of the best players in North America. It's a tough team, right? Like, you're not going to be able to take them down very easily. Obviously, this team won LAIC, the biggest test so far this competitive season. It's one of the only international tests that as we talked about earlier, and they ran the gauntlet. They beat some of the best teams. They beat Peru during that tournament. So, like, we need to see someone take down this team at some point. Yeah. So far in 2026, no one has. So it's got to happen eventually.
Like, is it Dig's year? You know, like, is this the year where and Dig is just like Dig is just the team for the entire year? Like, I think that they can definitely do it. I think there have been so many changes to competitive between last season and this season, with a lot of players moving around. Some players changing regions entirely. We got Ender back in NA, a couple of players from NA moving to various Asian regions. It's going to be really interesting to see how it ends up shaking out. I think we're starting to see Unite turn into an esport where, like, you kind of just play for whatever region you think you can win in. You don't necessarily have attachment to your home region. If you're good, you kind of just play where they need you to play. And that brings different play styles to different areas, to where we're seeing a Unite where we don't really know what's going to happen. Like, there's not these drastic differences in region playing anymore, but there are kind of drastic differences in the way that each game to game is being played, if that makes any amount of sense. I don't know.
I think it made sense. I think it made sense.
Okay.
Yeah, I think 1000%. Yeah. Look at him.
He's just sitting nicely and patiently. Oh,
yeah, he's been just chilling there this entire time.
Yeah, he hasn't moved. He's been rotating a little bit, but he loves him, Mom. He loves him.
Yeah, Floof has also been having a lazy day today. When I went up here to start stream, he was in one spot, and then when I went downstairs, he was in the same spot. So, lazy cat day.
He heard, hold on, let me. You can see him, little face. My little man.
Oh.
He heard something going on outside. He perked up a little bit, but it looks like he wants to go back to Eeps. After he committed a war crime this morning. Right, mister? Poor mister. He was sick.
Oh, yeah. The war crime.
He committed a war crime. He was sick, and so now we have to monitor him for his anxiety, because apparently he was so anxious that it was, like, making him physically ill. So we now have to monitor him. He's just like him, Mom. Oh, I'm just like him, Mom.
Oh.
Medicated for anxiety. Little man.
Poor buddy. Oh.
Yeah, I took him because he stopped, like, eating, and he seemed really lazy and, like, lethargic, and I'm glad I took him, because they were like, yeah, there's, like, a ton of blood in his urine, but nothing else looks wrong, so we think that he's so stressed that he has an inflamed bladder.
Oh, poor buddy.
I was like,
that's no fun.
Oh, I'm sorry, Karma. I'm stressing him out.
Wow. Are you stressing?
Well, I guess because we moved and then we kept traveling and like leaving him alone and... Oh! Big yawn.
Oh.
I love this thing.
He's just...
My son that I
boy.
borned.
Yeah.
Almost 5 years ago, I borned him.
It was Floof's gotcha day yesterday.
Oh, really?
10 years with that little gremlin.
Oh, a 10-year-old Floopy.
Yeah, he's like 10. We got him when he was like 5 or 6 months, supposed.
You don't really know.
10 years was, yeah. We have no idea, because we got him literally from a friend, an old coworker that I had on Facebook, and she was like, I don't know, someone just left them on my porch. It was like a whole bunch of cats, and he was the last one remaining. His name was Sebastian before we named him.
That's interesting.
They call him Sebastian. Yeah. Bassy is what they said.
My first cat, he was an all-black cat. He was the most precious thing ever. We named him Christmas because I was 6, and I named him Christmas and called him Chris. But eventually he just became Biss, and he was named Biss. But his original name was apparently Zachary. It's like, that's such a normal-ass name for a cat. His name was Zachary.
So good.
And Moon, her name in the shelter was Penelope.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
Scramble says my favorite snaggletooth nephew.
Oh,
it's my boy. He always has the snaggletooth hanging out.
The little fang. I think that's so cute. Karma was always Karma because I first met him when he was 2 weeks old.
Oh.
And I knew what him was going to be named. Right, mister? Because I borned him.
Yeah. You had to pick out a name before the birth, right?
Exactly. I carried
Omega,
him.
get a cat. Get a cat, Omega. Do it.
It's kind of funny when cats have generic everyday names.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because, like, dogs, I feel like are like people name dogs in a completely different way than they name cats.
Yeah.
Like I will name all of my pets like names that I like that I can't actually use for a kid because it would be cruel. That's kind of where I'm at with pet naming. And a lot of that
Fair.
is naming them after anime characters that I like. So Karma is named after Karma Akabane from Assassination Classroom. And we don't even really call him that. But it's so funny to me when cats are named like food or like normal ass like person names.
Yep.
It's so funny to me. And then like
have a
your dog is
coworker-
named like Bella, Luna,
Yeah.
and then like your cat is named like Bill. Like
Bill.
like
I have a coworker who named his dog Kevin.
Kevin. That's so funny, dude.
And he's just
Like
like
it's just normal.
just a normal, like that's just a man.
Yeah, you just did Kevin. Kevin, like come on.
Yeah, come
go,
on, Kevin.
Like, you
Cat
go to the
Louise,
pet-
you missed Citadel. We just watched that was their the match before this one was Citadel
see
versus
them,
Tagang.
Aren't we
Oh, do we
seeing
see
them
them again?
against EG? Right, next after this set?
Do we?
No, we don't. No, we don't. I was wrong. It's
Scripted,
scripted.
scripted, which is now
see them tomorrow.
next gaming. Yeah, we'll see them tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or you could go back in the VOD. The VOD on Twitch or YouTube.
Bill the cat is a farm cat. My uncle's cat that actually recently passed away. His name was just Phil. He was a black cat. His name was Phil.
Oh,
He was great. He was
Phil.
such a sweet cat.
Phil.
Well, he like didn't have a name for so many years because they just didn't know what to call him. So he was just like Kitty or like Cat or whatever, and then eventually he just became Phil.
Phil.
Oh,
We are good to
get a
go.
game.
Yeah. We got a game. Game number 2, Dignitas versus Hogang.
Let's
Here we
go.
go. Let's go. Okay, different composition, a little bit of a different. We're gonna steal away the Psyduck from Ender. So he's on the Jigglypuff.
Interesting. We got Wigglytuff. Oh, an Otter on the Darkrai. So no backliners here for Dig's composition. This is going to be an interesting one.
Ooh, okay, and also look at this. This is very interesting to me. I saw 2 EXP shares on the side of Dignitas. Not something that we see all that much now with the changes to experience.
Yeah, we really don't see it often. So we've got the EXP share on Umbreon and on the Wiggly. So I wonder how that's going to end up being used because it really only works for one Pokemon, I guess, on the team at a time, right? At this point, but I don't know. I feel like I haven't really figured out the new EXP share yet, so I guess we'll have to see how it works out for Dig.
You're gonna see it, and we are gonna see an invade here. So Clash gonna try to take on Zealot, slow them down from getting their level 6. Just able to dash away. Snorlax is sporting that red buff, so they were able to successfully take that away from Zealot.
Yeah, they got one pretty successful invade and has kept Zell from getting that level 5. They should be able to get it here. If they can get the secure, they will be able to grab it. But still, we're put a little bit behind from that original invade. Good play there from T-Gang to start us off.
Yeah, unfortunately, Ender, no rollout for Ender. It's going to be a Sing Wigglytuff, and they are going to put a couple Pokemon to sleep here, allow Dignitas to maybe get a KO on Clash or AW. Actually, it is going to be an eject button burn, so they do get some valuable resources used from T-Gang.
Wiggly with a Serena plus Darkrai is going to be really interesting. If they can make those things line up, what is this Absol doing? Like, what can Absol realistically do if you have a sleep, another sleep, a mean look, and then Serena comes in with a stomp? I hope it works out for Dig. Right now, it seems like T-Gang's keeping up pretty well. Absol now level 6, moving to the bottom path.
Gonna try to get a KO on this Mew. Able to escape was Pyro on it, and now Bunny is gonna throw that Bubble Beam. Very interesting. I don't see that move a ton with Psyduck. Rob's gonna have to retreat backwards, and 19 points goes in for this Zacian up in the top half.
Yeah, you also took Mew from Otter, which I think was smart. It seemed like T-Gang likely first picked, and they had a really good draft. So that kind of made Dig have to think a little bit. But look, Ender comes in with the sleep. They do push away with the surf.
My
And still,
goodness.
Dig takes down 2 very instantly. Psyduck is going to be the only one to try to deal with this push.
And now you're going to have to deal with Zealot getting a ton of stacks in on that bottom side. So great play, great setup by Ender on that Wigglytuff. And now you're starting to get everybody online for Dignitas. So you have to be a little bit worried here if you're T-Gang.
Yeah, you gotta be a little bit concerned. You've got Zacian again, and this time not Clash playing on it. Clash actually playing the Snorlax this time, and they have been hanging out in the enemy central area, forcing 2 members of Dig to have to deal with them. But looks like that means T-Gang easily gonna be able to get the bottom path, or the top path, whereas Dig is gonna settle for Reg Ice in that bottom path.
And Regieleki walking towards this T1 goal zone. Dignitas able to successfully defend it for the time being. 3 members of T-Gang hovering that T1 goal zone of their own, making sure no one from Dignitas pushes that way. Ender grabbing some valuable information on exactly where T-Gang is set up. They see a couple members, and Zealot able to score that 30 points and break that T1 on the bottom side.
Yeah, so the reason that Zealot's able to do that there, when it seems like everybody is pretty spread out, you think they would be able to defend that bottom goal zone, is because of Ender being a roaming support, standing in the central area, positioning himself so that nobody can really do anything to him, but he gets enough information to send Zealot down there, and picks up a KO.
Yeah, you're going to single out that Absol with that Serena Unite move. Get a KO there. 22 points in, 16, and another 30 on this T2 goal zone. So Dignitas running laps around T-Gang so far in game number 2. It's just started nearly halfway through this match. It's starting to snowball away from T-Gang.
Yeah, we're not letting them play score comp, which means Dignitas has full control over this map. Clash just playing in the enemy central area. At this point, I feel like you'd want to send them back to their team and focus a little bit more with the team fighting, because right now I think they're far enough ahead on the side of Dignitas where it doesn't really matter if Snorlax is going and invading. They're just going to be able to KO it.
Ooh, good find there from Mewtwo on that Psyduck. They do get a KO there, enabling some scores in that top path. Serena also preventing a little bit on that T1 goal zone, but in the bottom path, Wigglytuff able to snuff out that Absol from scoring down there. So Dignitas full control of this map as they march towards this T1 goal zone. Clash on the defend gets pulled right in by that Mewtwo X. Psyduck gonna try to push Zealot away, but Dignitas able to get some vision. Also gonna start moving towards this Regieleki.
So a couple things I want to correct from me talking about it earlier. As we've seen the movesets, we actually have Darkrai with the Dark Pulse moveset here, and the, what is that, Shadow Claw. So interestingly enough, a moveset that we see a little bit less often, and Umbreon also running Foul Play. So, you know, we kind of would expect Mean Look against an Absol, but Zugrug, one of the players who really does like the foul play, trying to go for a little bit of a team fight here. They will take down this Absol, now trying to chase down the Mew.
And they are going to zone them away from this basement Reggie. They got that Reggie Ice previously. Said they are going to try to go for an invade as they break that T1 goal zone on the top side. Now also going to look for this blue buff. However, good secure there for Pyro. E-ball onto that blue buff. It's going to give that Mew that blue aura.
Look at the way that Zugrug was just able to position there, turning around at the last minute to make sure they didn't get the pursuit reset. Looking now for a foul play inward. We do see the Midnight Slash come out. Umbreon will go down. Great fight for T-Gang. Good opportunity, but Zealot is there. Picks up Clash with a Unite move. Mew, though, double KO streak. This could be a great opportunity for T-Gang to push a little bit further forward.
40 points in for Otter on this T2 goal zone. Zealot looking to go on in. They're able to get a pair. Snorlax might be next on the chopping block as Zealot's starting to wreck through. It's actually Mewtwo X that's doing a lot of the heavy lifting here as AW going to be forced all the way back to the Pokemon Center. It's a triple KO and a Registeel here for Dignitas.
Wow, I am realizing how much I don't like this Zacian at all. I feel like the Zacian has just done absolutely nothing, especially against a highly mobile team or a highly mobile player like Zealot plays on the Serena. As soon as they threw that Unite move into action, Zealot just walked away. Just used the drop kick, walked away. No value out of that Unite move at all, and then Zacian went down. They are level 12, so if they can get a good Unite move out here in this late game fight, then we could see the game turn around here, but Dignitas just has a huge score lead and 3 level 13s.
334, 126. So like you said, massive score lead, as well as a potential Regieleki that can provide a little bit more pressure towards that T2 goal zone on the top side. And it is going to be Zealot trying to take all this experience for themselves. Level 14, that's a lot to deal with.
11 points are going to go in, break this goal zone, so at least you have 1 goal zone gone before the end game fight. But look at Absol. They're in a great position here in the backside. They have a ton of information. If they can get a really good flank, this could be really dangerous for Dignitas. And I don't think they realized where they even were. Clash is forced to use their Unite move there. So already 1 Unite move expended. Zacian now trying to get away, but they still don't know where Absol is.
And Psyduck also going to use their Unite move right into that Umbreon. Rayquaza now very dangerously low, looking for a secure here. Absol's going to go for it, and Mew's actually going to seal it for Tagang. 1 Pokemon down for Dignitas.
Wait, was that Ray? I didn't know this entire time we were on Ray map. I didn't even know we were on Ray map.
Yeah, I know, right?
Tagang does get the Rayquaza, which means that Ray makes it a lot easier to score. But they're not going to have... Do they have any buffs anymore? I don't think they have any. Dignitas
maybe on Psyduck? No.
No, they don't. I don't know if Snorlax does. They were able to take down anybody who had a buff. So at this point, 422 to 137. Snorlax does have a Ray Shield, but I don't know. It's just the 1 Pokemon. I don't think it's going to be enough.
It's going to be really tough here for Tagang. 50 seconds remain, and you see where Dignitas is set up. Hovering that T1 goal zone with Darkrai, T2 on the bottom side with Umbreon, Wigglytuff, holding that jump pad to make sure that no big scores go on in. Snorlax hovering the top path, looking for a way to try to deposit some Aeos energy in. They have that Ray Shield still. And now it's Otter that's actually going to put a lot of damage onto the Zacian.
Yeah, I mean, either way, they could just walk away from this goal zone right now, and it's really not going to matter. It's really not. Snorlax is standing there. They have 43 points, but it really doesn't matter. 15 doesn't even go in from Bunny to break the goal zone. Now Snorlax is going to walk in with a block. Wow. The 30 points will eventually go in, but even if Snorlax gets this, which they will, it's not nearly going to be enough points to win them the game. That means Dignitas 2-0 win, and they made it look easy.
They did. 2-0. That's going to cement them as, fortunately for Flareon's, number 1 in the league. Sorry, buddy. The number 1 was short-lived.
On the year. Undefeated.
Undefeated. 11-2. Fortune on that Mewtwo X. Looking very strong there. Tagang made a really good showing. Pyro stealing away that Rayquaza from Dignitas. Unfortunately, just not enough to push in and score some of the points and cement them with a Game 2 victory. So Dignitas 2-0, and we are going to go on to round number 3 of our off-stream matches very soon. But, man, Dig, definitely still the team to beat.
Yeah, I mean, Dig is the type of team where you can play a comp that looks like this and it ends up going well. Like, we're playing Foul Play, Umbreon, and Dark Pulse, Darkrai, and, you know, Zealot pulling out the Serena. One of the few players, I think, that can still make a really good use of Serena. It's a strong Pokemon, but I feel like teams just aren't really picking it up anymore. I gotta say, hated the Zacian, and I really didn't see the Absol do much of anything either. I think that if Absol just was able to get any picks, but what is Absol even picking off? It makes me think of, like,
nobody.
When did they pick Absol? Like, when did they pick it? Like, even if you go after Otter, you're just gonna get thrown into a Dark Unite move. What is it? Worst Nightmare or something? Unite
Worst
move?
Nightmare, yeah. Worst Nightmare.
And, like, what can you do? You can't even one-shot anything on their team. So I I don't know how I really felt about that Absol pick. I would have loved to see, like, when it was chosen. Like, was it chosen before Darkrai, assuming that Otter would pick an attacker? I don't know.
Yeah. Very, very odd stuff. But, yeah. Yeah, I think the other thing was maybe they were trying to slow down Zealot on the Serena. You do not want Zealot to be scaled on the Serena, but it didn't really matter. They weren't able to stop Zealot anyway. Obviously, very early on, they were able to get that invade on them, but short-lived. Zealot always finds the experience, and once they got online, it was just Unite Move onto the Absol after Unite Move onto the Absol.
I also just want to talk about, like, because we'll break in a second here, but I want to talk about, like, what was Clash doing? I really want to know the strategy throughout the game.
They're ripping, right?
Clash, no, the Snorlax just being on the other side of the map all game, even when they were super far behind. Like, it didn't matter. Like, I don't know what the strategy was there. I don't know if they were just tilted and they were like, I'm gonna go do whatever I want, because they were playing Snorlax. So, you know, it's not like they were trying to get experience for the end game fight or something, but they just kept going into the enemy central area when they were so far behind. I feel like it just doesn't matter unless you're going in there with everybody and trying to get a pick or two. I don't know. I don't understand that play. If someone explains it to me, maybe I'll get it, but I don't get it.
Yeah, I'm not going to explain it to you. I'm with you on that one. Very, very unfortunate for Tagang, so they're going to go into day number 2 down 0-2 in their overall record, obviously. A 1-2 against Citadel and now an 0-2 against Dignitas. So not obviously the best start for them, but obviously the season is long. There's still another day tomorrow. I believe they are taking on Scripted tomorrow. And then obviously week 2 and week 3, they have plenty of other opportunities to get on to the scoreboard in the win column. But it's early on. These are the best of the best teams. So it's going to be really tough to find those KOs, those wins, those maps that they need. It's going to be a dogfight in North America because there are some really good teams here.
Dogfight as long as you don't pick Zacian, because apparently it
True.
sucks right now. So.
Yeah. Or, man, we need like an all-dog composition. Like, we need like
Lucario.
dogs versus cats. Yeah, Lucarios.
Well, did you see Spraggle's dog and cat tier list?
Yes. Yeah.
So now we know what's a dog and what's a cat, so we can make that happen very easily. Yeah.
That's the official. That's sanctioned by Pokemon.
I was there live. Proud to admit, I was there live. Hi, Mister. Oh, you're back.
I like how Comfey was just like its own thing.
You Comfey.
Or no. Yeah.
Neither dog nor cat.
It's just its
Karma's
own
gonna
thing.
settle back in. We're gonna settle and wait for the next one. What do we have? What is next?
We have Scripted and Evil Geniuses.
Okay.
Lunex. Yeah, they're the
all right.
New name is it was Scripted. Now they were sponsored by Lunex. So
all right.
Not the Goofy Goobers version of Lunex. There's like Lunex, and now there's Lunex Academy. I don't know. It's a whole thing. But either way, we're going to take a quick break. On the opposite side of the break, we'll have our game 3, or I guess round 3 of North America Regional League. So grab a drink, grab a snack, all that jazz. We'll be right back. Welcome back, trainers. Last round of the day, day one, week one of the North America Regional League format here at the Unite Championship Series. And we have Evil Geniuses taking on Lunex Gaming, which was formerly scripted, one of your open qualifiers. And this is going to be a banger, Husky.
Yeah, look at these comps. We have Comfey coming in, so interesting. It's a Pokemon that I feel like fell off a little bit with the EXP changes, and it's not even running the EXP share. So we also have Mamoswine, very scaling focused Pokemon, but Ducky loves this thing, so I can imagine that he'll figure something out with it.
Never skip a Ducky Mamoswine game. It is going to be this Urshifu in the central area for Lunex Gaming. And just as God put grass on the green earth, Ducky is looking for an invade, especially against that Kubfu.
Yeah, God on the first day said, let there be light. On the second day, he said, let Ducky invade the enemy central area. And that's exactly what we're seeing him do. He's on less than half HP, doesn't really seem to care. Any time that you can buy with an Urshifu trying to get level 5 is pretty good. Likely going to end up going down here. They will, but in that top half, we do see Chris Smith on the Lucario, which is a Mega Lucario, will take down the shop.
Great plays here early on for Evil Geniuses, as this Chansey is just left to maybe watch as Evil Geniuses takes all of that experience for themselves. Down this bottom path, Miraidon rejoining the fray, trying to push that Mewtwo away, and it is going to be a Water Urshifu here.
Okay, so a little bit more dive to try to deal with the Miraidon, especially in that back line. You get a lot of hits with it as well, and a little bit of CC with some of those hits. It's going to be interesting to see how this is with Machamp. So Lunex has really been the only team, I guess, that we've seen consistently pull out this Machamp, at least in the previous games that we've seen them. So I'm definitely interested to see how it ends up working here. It's something that Lunier seems to like. I know that Celestial also sometimes plays it. So it's got to scale, it's got to get some levels, and right now it does not really happen.
Not currently, and Chris Smith, along with Roland on that Comfey, trying to hold that top half for themselves as Vin Diesel in that central area now for this Reggie Drago that has hit the map. Celeste has joined the fray. They are looking for maybe a little bit of a play here. Immediate damage onto it, and it's Lunex Gaming that's pushing a little bit forward. Psystrike's going to connect on that Mimikyu. They've all but zoned out Evil Geniuses, but 2 KOs immediately back for Evil Geniuses.
Wow, that was really off the back of Kyrios right there, of which I have a signed Venusaur card, thank God.
Ooh.
So that has blessed him today.
What?
But he, what?
Did you see a double KO for Comfey?
Oh, no, I didn't see that. I was like, wait, hold on. But no, I think that fight in the middle was all Kyrios. They hit the enhanced charge beam, just shred through a ton of Lunex, and then they could come in and clean it up right there. We do have level 8 on the Urshifu, so maintaining the same level as Vin on the Mimikyu so far. They will be able to take into level 9 very soon, but Lunex playing pretty well despite falling a little bit behind early.
And we have a basement objective that Evil Geniuses is prioritizing. It's going to be a Reggie Roulette. This one is going to be that Reggie Steal, as Lunex now looks for an invade in the central area. Reggie Steal earned by Evil Geniuses. That is the first domino to fall here in Game 1.
Well, that's an interesting choice from Lunex. I think they regret it here, so they're going to move back through the central area. It looks like they were not expecting that anybody would be there, so they're going to try to jump on them. Mimikyu does use the Unite move, immediate takedown of this Machoke here. And look at Kyrios, nobody can even get to him. You'd expect that's the Urshifu's job, but they hold them out. Miraidon able to shred in that backline without being hit a single time.
You gotta hand it to Ducky on that one. A huge earthquake engage was really able to send Lunex Gaming scrambling away, and good follow-up there from Evil Geniuses. That's gonna earn them this top path break, and it is gonna be Vin Diesel breaking that. 129.61 with a Regieleki also going into their back pocket.
I wonder what they do here. You could try to go for a push in either goal zone, or I wonder if you just kind of go play it safe a little bit. Blissey was looking for vision in that central area, but it looks like Lunex is a little bit afraid of this Regieleki walking in, so instead they are going to dedicate a couple of players to deal with that, and instead EG looks like they're just going to hold their positioning and make sure they get some vision.
Oniara is going to defend this T2 goal zone, keep Regieleki from walking in, making that goal zone defenseless. Kyrios trying to hold this T1 on the bottom side. Both of those goal zones, one for each side, still up there as Celestial tries to steal away a little bit of the experience from Evil Geniuses, able to do so. 25 seconds until another Regiroulette appears in the bottom path.
I'm watching this Mamoswine and how Ducky has been able to scale, and we do see that, 3-stage evolution Pokemon like Mamoswine can get online a little bit sooner because they don't have to run that EXP share anymore with the way that XP is now distributed. So they do have a level 9 and a Unite move for this engagement. In fact, every member of Evil Geniuses has a Unite move here, and they immediately take down the frontliner.
Yeah, Slowbro. Still no Unite move from that Pokemon, but they do go down early. Mewtwo Y going to try to move on away. There's that Infinite Cyber. Reggie Ice very dangerously low, but it's going to be Chris Smith that is able to take that away. Miraidon in the back line goes down at the hands of that Urshifu. Celestial able to get the KO, but it is going to be Evil Geniuses that wins that fight.
Yeah, fantastic secure there by Chris Smith on the Lucario, which I'm really happy to see that he is finally getting to play competitively because he is just such a strong player with a huge pool of Pokemon that he's really good at. And we also saw Urshifu jump into the backline and take down Miraidon, which is their job, but in that moment where you have the fight breaking out in a completely different spot, I feel like separating Urshifu from the rest of the team ended up not really doing for Lunex what they needed it to.
And it is level 12, though, so it's going to be tough to deal with if you are Evil Genius. You have to be very careful. Good ice thing there by Mamoswine. And now we have the slow beam directly on the Mimikyu, but you have no follow-up because Mamoswine's been able to zone them out. Here comes Miraidon with those meteors falling down on this T1 goal zone. Mimikyu able to take out the Slowbro. Urshifu able to just barely escape. There's that enhanced charge beam. Blissey gets them out of dodge.
Incredible Unite move there from Kyrios. Those meteor storms, each individual meteor provided so much value in that moment. And now EG able to break this goal zone. Ducky gonna get caught by all 5 members of Lunex, which, eventually I guess that'll happen, but they definitely did their job there, allowing EG to break that goal zone, maintaining over 100-point score lead.
Yeah, 199 to 61, your current lead here for Evil Geniuses as we start to make our way 1 minute until our first Kyogre of this round. Evil Genius is also going to take out this Regieleki that'll walk towards this T2 goal zone. Also might give them a little bit of space for this third basement Reggie.
To be fair, Lunex is hanging on. They've got the level 13 now on that Urshifu, and we don't quite have a level 13 on EG. So even though it feels like they've been losing these fights, they have been able to get experience, which is something I've noticed about the way that this team plays. Wow, big submission there on top of Ducky. They do get an Ice Fang out before they go down, but they will ultimately go down here.
And Psystrike, along with Urshifu, going to help clear that Registeel for that final objective of this game number 1 before we get to our Kyogre. Of course, 15 seconds until that appears.
Yeah, I just feel like Lunex does not really let themselves fall behind, even if it seems like they're getting dominated all game, because their levels are really good. They're holding on. They're doing pretty well. I guess the only one that's a little bit behind is this Blissey is only level 10, but that doesn't really matter. You get a good Bliss assistance in Gage, and Lunex can easily take this fight and come back. Celeste already considering jumping in, but all 5 members of Lunex hovering around this Kyogre pit, just trying to get a good position, and there's the engagement there from Urshifu.
Yeah, there's that Infinite Cyber. Oh, and the slow beam directly on the Mimikyu is going to get a couple members caught out for Evil Geniuses. 2 members down. There's that Aura Cannon into Lunex Gaming, and now the 2 of them are dangerously low. They are unable to hit that Kyogre. Curio still upright for Evil Geniuses, shredding through the Urshifu. That's the first domino to fall for Evil Geniuses. Now Lucario is Mega Evolved and takes down another. Kyogre dangerously low. Now at half. Submission's going to pull out that Lucario. There's another charge beam. Oh, there's the barrage blow that takes down Kyrios. Now Kyogre's at half, and now Lucario is on Mega Evolve, but it's just the Blissey for Lunex.
Oh, just the Blissey. Everybody else is down. Mewtwo just now gets up. Can Blissey do it? No, they cannot. It's going to be the secure for Christmas. The power-up punch. Lucario throughout that entire fight. That is the reason they ended up holding on there. Able to get 2 KOs, I believe. And we saw the incredible eject button onto the Mewtwo Y to take them out. Holding on to this fight. What a play there from Chris Smith.
Evil Geniuses depositing 100 points into that T2 goal zone, bolstering their lead. 3:19:61, 30 seconds remaining in this one, Husky, and it's all but guaranteed as Evil Geniuses likely taking game number 1 of this set.
Wow, it was the signed Kyrios card, blessed by Kyrios himself. Able to get EG that first win. That fight could have easily gone to Lunex too. It really could have. That was a great barrage blow there to take out Miraidon. You kind of thought that it was over for a second, but the Comfey on top of the Mega Lucario just kept Chris Smith alive, and he picked up some extremely valuable KOs, making sure Lunex couldn't rip down Kyogre, and they end up taking game number 1. 419-61, your final score.
Wow. Insane work here for Evil Geniuses. A tough fought battle. I thought Lunex Gaming really had a great position. Holy, hit an incredible slow beam on Vin, and they caught them out as well as Ducky. And those are 2 big pins there for Evil Geniuses. But like you said, Chris Smith able to pop that Mega Evolve on the Lucario, getting a couple of KOs there. And that was really the linchpin that kept them in game number 1 and really propelled them, able to maybe take out 2-3 Pokemon. I mean, wonderful, wonderful stuff there from Evil Geniuses.
Yeah, looking at the bans too, a lot of Pokemon that we commonly see being banned out. So I feel like Mimikyu is always something that's good, but we tend not to see it a ton. But I think Vin is one of those players that still really enjoys playing the Mimikyu. And with the Shadow Claw too, it's a dangerous game to be playing, honestly. With the Mimikyu Shadow Claw, you have to get the shred, and there's so much CC on the other side, but they didn't seem to care. 6 KOs for them, 46,000 damage as well, able to, really keep Lunex at bay.
And Kyrios doing a lot of heavy lifting themselves. 73k damage on that Miraidon.
They weren't touched.
Yeah, barely. I mean,
look at
Roland. Something that you worry about. Yeah.
Look at Roland's damage taken. Bro did not leave Chris Smith the entire game. They didn't need to. EG basically played that game 4v5 because Roland just stayed on Chris Smith and pressed 1 button the entire time. What a play there from EG. I wonder what you do here. I think I like the Lunex's composition, but in terms of, the backline value, the Miraidon compared to what the Mewtwo Y did that game, there's a huge difference, right? There's a huge difference in damage and also in outcome here. So I wonder what you do. Do you switch up how you're going to be dealing with your backline, or do you switch up how you're going to be dealing with their backline? And unfortunately for Lunex, they just couldn't really get Kyrios. They picked him up 1 time in the end game fight, but they kind of just let him do whatever he wanted for the most part.
Yeah, they were able to kind of patiently wait out that electric terrain to go down a couple of times. But again, Kyrios had an eject button up in some of those big moments to kind of escape Celestial's grasp, and even Lumiar's, like you said. I think, like you said, one submission into that backline, not enough to take down, 2-time world champion of Kyrios. So yeah, I mean, I don't know what you do here if you're Lunex Gaming, because I did like their composition. I mean, I don't think there was a single weak point. Their team fight was obviously very good, and it worked at the end game. Just, you didn't have enough to take down that Miraidon. You didn't really have an answer, so maybe you switch off that Mewtwo Y, maybe go for something that can maybe hit it, maybe a little bit longer range. I don't know, you have a lot of options on the table. Maybe a Glaceon could have worked.
Yeah, I do know that, Glaceon wasn't banned, and I do know that Oblivion likes the Glaceon. So we could see them pivot over there. It does a lot of shred, to deal with something like a Mamoswine. You could just kind of walk away from it, and then it does a ton of damage. So that could be a pretty good option with the Icicle Spears. I'm surprised that we really haven't seen it much, to be completely honest. And I feel like if any team is going to make good use out of it, it would probably be this team.
Yeah, and especially when you had that Blissey too, right? I mean, Blissey, Mewtwo, Y, Blissey plus A Presser, obviously a very good tandem, right? I mean, you enhance the basic attacks from that Mewtwo Y. Could have worked just the same with the Glaceon, and in my opinion, I don't know. Mewtwo Y is still very good, but I feel like I don't know. I feel like it lacks a little bit. It just lacks a little bit of something. I'm not sure what it is. Like, it seems like you have to be very perfect with it about timing your Mega Evolution. And sometimes you can, if you're the opposite team, you can kind of bait it out at the wrong time. And you're just kind of caught out on an island. You just walk away from that Mewtwo.
Yeah, it's not as strong as it once was. I think that there's stronger attacker options. It feels like it kind of only does things when it's Mega Evolve, which might be kind of what you're thinking of as like what it's missing. It's like, it's not missing anything. It's just that it's only good for half of the game. So, like, if it was always Mega Evolved, then yeah, I guess. But it,
please no.
I would rather it just like get removed. But I wonder what they end up doing. It wasn't like they're, because they could have won that team fight for sure. I just think that EG has, I guess, they just have like the spunk.
The sauce. They have the secret sauce.
They've got the vibe. They just have that vibe. Every single play, I feel like I'm watching, like, the way that I watch EG play is like the way that Blue Lock is, where they're like, we're only playing for ourselves. We're all going to be scoring our own goals. We don't play as a team. We play as individuals, and we're all trying to be the best. Like, that's the way I feel about EG. Like, they're all trying to do their own thing and be the best on the team. Even Roland with the double Comfey KO. Like, you know, it's
huge.
Just kind of, how do you, as a good team fight composition, deal with a team that doesn't care that you're trying to team fight them?
No. Yeah, there's like so many moments where they're like, all right, we'll just back away, and then all of a sudden they're away from those fights. So I think also, like, we haven't seen Mega Lucario make it through draft a lot. I think if you're Lunax, you probably just have to take that away from Chris Smith. Obviously, a Pokemon that even just regular Lucario is a player that's very proficient on that Pokemon, but and giving him the Mega one, you saw the damage that it was able to provide in those key moments, not only at that Kyogre fight, but really every objective. So once it hits that level 9, it's a shred button. It has everything. It has a shred, it has a secure, and once they were able to get those KOs, I mean, it was just game over from them.
And like, I wonder if you even like take the Mega Lucario or ban it if they just take regular Lucario. Like, I wonder if he just doesn't really care and like he'll just do what he wants anyway, which I could see that also being the case.
Seen it a couple times.
Yeah, for sure. My little worm is back.
Oh, look at that guy.
Yeah.
Oh, Mister. He's just chilling. He's just chilling. So we have Evil Geniuses up 1-0 here. This is our last matchup of the evening for our official off broadcast. Obviously, there'll be 3 additional North America rounds in the main broadcast. What are we seeing later today? Dignitas, and then Lunex is going to be next, I guess, for the main broadcast, which will be a really good one.
Yeah.
And Evil Geniuses versus Nemesis, and then IX Gaming versus Aftermath. Ooh, it's a good one.
We got Zoro Comfey.
Oh, okay.
This is a Celestial classic. I don't think he cares at all that EXP share was nerfed. This is a classic Lunex play.
This is going to be game number 2. Evil Geniuses on your purple, Lunex Gaming on your orange. This is going to be a Scyther, Vin Diesel, heading to the central area. I imagine that we'll see a Scyther, but who knows? We may see a Scissor.
I don't think so if it's in the jungle.
I don't think so either.
Roland doing a Roland thing, heading into the central area, trying to look for Zoroark, see if they can keep them from getting that coveted level 5, especially since Zoroark has one of the, still even after it's been like taken down a little bit by the EXP changes, it still has one of the best level 5 ganks in the entire game.
Psyduck doing a lot of work to try to distract multiple members. They pulled 2 additional members away, even almost Buzzwall for the time being. And down on the bottom path, it is going to be this Mew providing a little bit of vision as well as last hitting ability, try to take away a lot of what Lunex Gaming is trying to do early on. Roland never left the central area, looking to steal away this red buff now. Oh, and they might be able to do it. They do, Husky.
God. How do you let that happen? They get the passive at the perfect time, able to just send a single basic attack, steal that red buff away, and now they're in the top path ready for these birds.
Vin Diesel is going to rock the Scyther kit in game number 2 as Roland continuously putting on a lot of pressure. E-ball secure for Kyrios, and now they're going to get Holy off guard, and they're going to force them all the way back to that T1 goal zone as Zoroark now looks to engage on to Ducky.
Wow, Ducky doesn't care either. They're just going to throw down the Rock Tomb. 13 points will go in, but Zoroark loses a ton of HP. They're going to have to back a huge surf. Oh. What a surf from Kyrios. They get 2. Zoroark without a Comfey. What do?
That's a big cowabummer right there. Is Lunex Gaming now going to try to defend this T1 goes? I told you I was going to have to do one earlier.
Yeah.
12 points in for this Crusler. Yeah, you can never escape the cowabummer. You just can't.
It'll be here. If you thought there wasn't going to be a cowabummer, you were wrong.
Think again, gamers.
Think again.
No successful invade here this time for Roland. But Evil Geniuses away from screen, able to take away that Regidrago. That is a big bit of EXP in their pocket.
So I am going to be really interested in this Zacian, I think, because I haven't liked it at all day, the teams that have picked it up. It's played a good amount in EU, I think, but other than that, it just really hasn't looked very good, especially against something like a Buzzwole, which I like this pivot from Lunex. Machamp was fine, but Buzzwole is just a little bit more consistent.
Here comes Zoroark as well as the Comfey it's attached to. And now the defense is on here for Evil Geniuses as they try to hold this T1 goal zone. Good push there. Perfect timing on the passive into the Psychic. And there's another surf. There's another cowabummer as 4 members deleted from Lunex Gaming.
Absolutely ridiculous there from the Scyther. That was a 4 KO streak. I was like, was it 4 KO? We had a little bit of a buffer, but 4 KO streak for them. Off of the setup, buffer, I hardly know her. After the setup from the Psyduck, it was like the Psyduck passive popped, and then at the perfect time for the Scyther to come in, clean everybody up. Just very well fought by EG. Here
comes Zoroark once again in this bottom path now. Uses the Unite move, misses everybody. Roland is going to get attached to that liquidation on Inteleon, but not enough damage there. Solar Beam connects on the War Turtle. Psychic connects on the Buzzwole. And once again, they're going back packing to the Pokemon Center.
Dude, this is such a Roland Pokemon as well. It's so annoying the way that he plays this thing. Like, I feel like it's always the nicest people ever that play the most devastating Pokemon to play against. Roland just making this thing look like my absolute worst nightmare, and there's not even a thought behind its eyes either. While Regieleki walks toward that tier 2 goal zone, it looks like EG wants to go for a fight here.
Oh, and they're going to find the Blastoise early. Psyduck going to use their Psy-Yi, reducing some damage. Regieleki finds its home in the T2 goal zone. Zacian looking to hunt down Oblivion. They're going to try to hit that liquidation. Not enough damages as Evil Geniuses start to open a can on Lunex Gaming.
What do you think of this liquidation pick?
I don't like liquidation in general.
I know that liquidation has like gotten buffed. I know that it's a sure hit and it's gonna do like consistent damage. It seems like something Oblivion would like. I just don't know why you would ever pick it over Snipe Shot, especially in competitive. Like anytime they hit with liquidation, I'm like, imagine if though you hit with a Snipe Shot. It just doesn't really seem valuable.
Yeah, I agree generally here. Maybe in solo queue it works a little bit better. I just don't feel like it's all that good, like you said, in competitive. And it hasn't worked so far here. 233-39. And Evil Genius is lining up another objective that's going to be a Reg Ice this time. And I don't know what Lunex Gaming needs to do to get back in this one, because it's starting to look bleak.
Yeah, I mean, EG is just walking all over them right now. You have to... Lunex is a patient team. They are a good team fight team. they can wait for Evil Geniuses to make a mistake and capitalize on it, and they definitely could make that happen. We do see a great engagement here.
Ooh.
The Psy has to pop off, and Psyduck will go down. That's a really solid pick for them, but here comes the rest of EG.
Good surf there from Curios as Inteleon's going to be the one that falls down. Another surf. Crustal able to take out the Buzzwole. Blastoise still standing. Ducky is going to section them off. X's are into a wall. That's not enough damage just yet as Zoroark with the Comfey is going to dish out a lot of damage. Here comes Chris Smith. There goes a Musted Auto. Buzzwole still going backwards, and Evil Geniuses now making their way down towards this basement Regieleki.
I want to point out the play from Ducky there in that last fight. We saw Scyther jump in. They got a couple KOs, but they were on 1 HP, and that's a level 14 Pokemon. Zoroark can easily chase them down. It was a fantastic choice to go with the Rock Tomb in the spot that Ducky threw it, because it prevented Celestial from chasing that Scyther. And at the same time, Ducky's dealing with another entire Pokemon. So great play from them, and they are just rolling over them. Level 14 on the Scyther, another 3 KO streak, and with 4 KO streak, and with a 3 minutes on the clock, EG is really in control here.
EG making like the namesake, and they are rolling it down here in game number 2. 1 minute until our Kyogre, which is going to be the objective here. As Regieleki walked into that T2, no one really pushing forward. Vin Diesel, level 15, and this is going to be a third top Reggie, and it is a Registeel.
Wow. Yeah, that is not what Lunex wanted to see, to give a Registeel over to Evil Geniuses, including a level 15 Scyther. I think, like, you don't have the Slowbro Unite move or anything that really shuts somebody down, so you have to get a pick here. Good play from the Zoroark, trying to get something. You're trying to get Ducky here. They could. They will.
Ooh, okay.
That is a really good pick for them. That means that it's a 4v5 jumping in, so they're going to try to capitalize on it. Zoroark does use the Unite move, but no, not enough damage. Scyther will take them down. This is the fight, Kyle.
Yeah, 3 members already down for Lunex Gaming. Scyther in hot pursuit, able to dodge away from some damage from Blastoise. Musted Auto gonna connect on Holy, as there's the E-Ball, they take them down! It's just the Inteleon standing. Kyogre has joined the fray. They're gonna put a little bit of damage, but instead, Evil Genius is just gonna play this slow.
Curios just evil, being able to get that last hit on the Blastoise. True to the team name for sure. And it is Kyogre, which like we didn't talk about before. So Lunex clearly picked, or no, I guess EG would have picked the map because Lunex probably would have picked first. So yeah. I'm wondering here if EG wanted that Scyther, and so they wanted the tall grass to give them more opportunities to jump on Lunex Gaming, which the Kyogre map will give them. Zoroark does hit the back line here. We'll go after Curios, but they still had a Unite move, and Zoroark goes down. Zoroark Comfey is not what it once was, Kyle.
Not at all, and Buzzwole down, Comfey down, 100 points on the backside. Scyther depositing more, 4 members down. It's just the Blastoise trying to hold on, but that's not gonna be enough. Evil Geniuses are laying the groundwork here against Lunex Gaming in game 2. That's a clean team wipe. That is going to be a 2-0 sweep.
Yeah, this is the most one-sided game that we've seen all day so far for any team, in NA at least. Here, I didn't watch every single game earlier, but I feel like a lot of these matchups have been very even, and EG has just absolutely demolished Lunex Gaming here. They had a great first game, but I guess, you know, after that first game was a little bit heartbreaking, they just kind of lost the morale and were unable to find their footing here in game number 2. Get absolutely obliterated. This Scyther completely dominated the entire time, and I guess I have to walk back on my Zacian opinion because even that played well.
Insane work here in game 2. 2-0 victory. Evil Geniuses looking fantastic. 7-13, 39 your final, and EG cementing themselves along Dignitas as your number 1 team so far in the league format. Both 2-0 victories against their opponents this evening. Oh. Looking at the damage, looking at the KOs, that is disgusting. Vin with 18 of them on the site.
Oh my god, dude. 18 KOs on the Scyther is absolutely ridiculous. What was that? Is that 5? That's almost quadruple the amount of KOs from the entire enemy team. That's absolutely ridiculous. Very well played by EG. I also want to shout out, I'm always shouting about, but Ducky with the Rock Tomb placements the entire time. Like, they just weren't able to do anything. I've always said that Crustle plays really well into something like Zoroark, because even if Zoroark can dash through the wall, it will slow them down. So Ducky really capitalized on that characteristic of the Pokemon, and unfortunately this Zoroark really couldn't do that much.
This is a team of evil geniuses that a lot of us thought would be, one of the teams to really make some splashes in the league, and they're definitely showing up here in their first matchup of the season. Unfortunately, they didn't have that same showing at LAIC, so we didn't really know exactly what to expect from this team, but they're definitely making it look really strong here. So I'm excited to see, especially if they're able to play against someone like a Dignitas, how it's going to go. But yeah, so far, so good for this squad.
Yeah, that was a great couple sets that we got to watch off stream, and we're gonna catch the off stream ones for NA tomorrow as well, which again will be some of them. Again, it will be EG versus IX, so we'll get to see IX. We'll get to see them tonight as well on the main stream, but we get to cast them. Always our favorites. We're always going to be biased towards them. Citadel versus Aftermath, which is the only team that I kind of know nothing about. I really don't know much about them. So I guess I'm looking forward to seeing a little bit about them. And then Dig versus Nemesis, who we didn't get to see today. So should be an interesting set of games tomorrow as well.
I'm excited. Fantastic work all around. We are going to probably end here, and we're going to find a target to raid, but thank you, everybody, for showing up and showing out today. Obviously, thank you, Husky, for casting with me this evening. Big shout out to Shiv, who is running the back end, both the observing and the broadcast booth, or I guess the production booth. So, thank you all there. Thank you, everybody in chat, for coming and hanging out with us, watching the games. Obviously, root on all these teams. We have a long season. I mean, not super long, but we have a few months of regular season action here in North America. We'll be back, like Husky said, we'll be back here tomorrow for day 2 action of week 1. We'll also be back 2 weeks, I believe, is week number 2. I think it's like the 31st of January. But yeah, insane stuff here, week 1. So everybody, hope you all have a wonderful night, and we will see you back tomorrow. Same time, same place, 3 p.m. Eastern here on Twitch and YouTube. Until then, trainers, we will see y'all next time.